Tell her.
Hello?
All right. Well, now it works.
Yes.
Well, now it works.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell her
Ask her if it's working. Call her.
No,
All right.
just tell her to tell
Yeah, let me just call her really quick.
Wow. It's always
My
something.
phone's been blowing up. I try not to check my phone in the middle
No,
of
it's all right.
podcasts
Thank
'cause that's
you,
rude,
because-
right?
Yeah.
But
You're not chewing gum either.
but it just kept going, so I figured maybe
Wow,
she's
we're
trying
so
to contact me. For
That's all right. We have the audio.
emergency.
We're fucking garbage. We're so bad at this.
Yo,
We're so bad at this.
We're above average.
is it
We're
working now
amateurs?
or no?
Yes, it
No,
is.
Yes, it is. It should be working.
It should be.
Now.
It's
okay.
working.
There might be like a 5-second delay.
I love you.
Or her end.
Hi, Kyla.
I'm on the phone.
All right, I gotta go. Bye. It just got really confusing.
All right.
All good. Thank you.
Shout out to Kyla
Yeah, shouts
Uh,
out.
for saving the video. That's all right. No one watches these anyway. That's hilarious.
It was good for the
fucking-
recording
alright.
too.
That's so trash. We
Like
every
17
week it's
minutes
something
in.
like
I know.
Something very minimal too.
Trust me.
But it's always audio related. Like for the past few weeks, it was like you see how the bars are going up there.
Yeah.
So it'll show that, but then like when we watch it, it'll be like the webcam audio. So it's
Yeah.
just very like what the
So
hell.
I finally fixed that.
What do you use? What software do you use to stream?
Stream,
OBS.
yeah,
OBS,
Streamlabs, yeah.
So
I
John
stream
used that
those.
podcast.
Hmm?
He used that podcast.
That's true.
Oh,
Let's
what,
talk about that.
what did you use to, or
So
what do you use to?
yeah, so I guess it was like maybe 2 years ago. Maybe even longer. A buddy and myself got the idea to stream weekly a live show about science research news. We would go on for about an hour at a time,
Mm-hmm.
just put together like a short list of different research topics that were like trending on social media that people were talking about, and we would try to like break it down for people
The
that
listening, the
that aren't
viewers.
really
Yeah.
in the know to like
Yeah.
understand what this means, right,
That's
in the grand
fucking
scheme
awesome.
of things.
Yeah.
Because I feel like an idiot. Sometimes I'll go into the science section of like Google News or whatever, and I'm just like,
Just reading a lot of big words.
yeah
it's over. Like,
because it is a lot of jargon, right? And if you're like not in the trenches of like knowing where we're at with modern cutting edge like research developments, then
Yeah.
like you can't possibly catch up, like
No.
to where the article needs you to be. So yeah, so we tried to do that as a means to like work on our science communication skills a little bit, and it was just fun, right? Like we were into video game streaming, so this was like a natural sidestep
Yeah.
into a untapped market, I thought, right? Like
For sure.
nobody else is really doing
I mean,
this.
it's like how you do stuff or something. There's one podcast where they like get into like how shit works or something, but other than that, and then maybe
Yeah, there's like
Bill
Science
Nye,
Friday
and
and
then
things
there's
like
like
that, yeah.
Star Talk.
Yeah,
So that's 3.
right.
How many people sit around and just talk? A billion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we did it for the better part of a year and a half maybe, and my like mentality was like, if we're regular about it, we'll
Catch
breed
on.
an audience,
Yeah.
right?
For
Like,
sure.
so we hit that like every Monday night at 8:30 time slot, and it was fun. Like a lot of it was like just friends and family that would hop in, but like we had a live chat, so when we're talking
better,
about
yeah.
shit, yeah, like people can
Conversations
be
were
like,
moving and-
what do you mean about this, and we could like
Yeah.
clarify a little bit more. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and so I'm no stranger to all of the bullshit that goes on with streaming. It's like it's such a headache
those
sometimes.
episodes still available on
They are.
Okay, so why don't you plug those?
Yeah, you can go. Where can you go?
SoundCloud, Apple,
Uh,
Cyrus Radio.
Just on YouTube, and the link is URL is really messy because we never got enough subscribers to get the custom
Yeah,
one.
it's so trash.
I don't know. You could go to Facebook, I guess, and find it that way.
Well,
We-
what was the title of the podcast? I could just
it was
search
called
like that.
it was called Trace Eye Weekly at first, and we streamed on YouTube live for that, and then we pivoted at a certain point to Twitch and rebranded as Science News Over Brews. So because then we were like trying to be a little more casual about it. So I think you can still see some of them from Twitch.tv.
Okay.
Science News Over Brews.
All right.
Science News Over Brews.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I'll put a link. We'll find
in
it.
the description, yeah.
it's not a big deal because
No, but it's cool.
yeah.
Dude, you ever think about starting it again?
I have thought quite a bit about starting it again. I would love to start it again with my current affiliation.
But
that is not up for me to
Yeah.
to determine whether or
Yeah.
not we go in
Yeah.
that direction. I found there is some interest from people within my department
Yeah.
to do something like that.
Do you want to talk about what you do?
Sure. Yeah. So I work as a physical sciences educator at the Museum of Natural History.
Gang. Swag.
Yeah. So I write and develop curricula for middle and high school students around physical science topics. So that includes astronomy, earth science, climate science, geology,
Badass.
anything that the museum departments are currently researching and we have exhibits on in the hall is like fair game for me to cover in my classes.
Where were you when I needed you 8 years ago, or something like that? 8 years ago,
Like from when you were in high school?
yeah, or middle school.
We had
'cause,
Mr.
like,
Cohen.
Who?
Our
Who? Excuse me.
he was earth science teacher.
I had some wrinkly old sponge. Like,
All right. Well, this earth science. Sorry to.
No, yeah,
cut in.
please.
He was earth science, and if he was given the time of day, he was actually a good teacher. If you you didn't have him, but
Yeah.
he would like jump on the table and like do like fingertip push-ups and do weird shit, and like he made like a
like the science master Roshi. Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he would like
That's great.
do like rap. He had a fuck is the Soldier Boy? So what is the name of that song? Superman. That's it.
Crank that.
Crank that. Yeah. So he did a crank that, but with like geology.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
like it
And
just
you-
makes it more
Yeah, but
down.
they would
I don't
be-
need it that broken down,
There would
but
be like kids in the class would be like, "Yo, you're corny," but those are the kids that couldn't read.
Mm.
And then like it
Well,
would be like
it was
Nate,
for them.
Nate was in that class.
Big Nate.
Yeah, the one we had on this podcast. And he had the extra teacher. You know the people that have the extra teacher, and she would be like, "You need to write your name." He'd be like, "Yo, why are you here? I'm not retarded." Like,
It's like so offended by it. Yeah. Yeah.
He'd be like, "Shut the fuck up! Get out of here! Why are you next to me?" Oh man. Anyway.
Yeah. I appreciate anytime there is another adult in the classroom with me though, like that's like just on my team because you need that.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I understand the perspective of the student who feels like they're being like personally paired with this this other
No, he
person.
was, yeah.
But it's like if you were in
I mean,
that
back
attendance,
then you
if you were in
kinda
that
were.
second attendance list, then you were definitely.
Yeah.
People knew why there was two teachers. So you could point them out. Like, yeah.
It's like, why is that list so short?
You didn't
Oh,
do so good
okay.
in your regions, huh? Fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's funny though because so I'm in the informal learning setting. So
Okay.
like it's so different from traditional school classroom setting. Like for
Turn
the
to
most
chapter
part,
3. Well, I mean, sorry.
Reggie's having flashbacks.
I don't know why. Yeah, I like thought you were telling me to do that.
Nah,
I got really
this-
pissed off for 1 second.
this is how boring they
I
are.
know.
Like,
So yeah, like for me, it's not about whether or not like we meet some criterion, right? That like the state puts forward about what you're supposed to know about these.
scores. You're not worried about anything.
None of that at all. So like
You could talk about fringe science too, right?
totally whatever. Like my confines, literally, I get told by my supervisors, we're doing a science visualization class on oceans. Go.
shit.
That's awesome.
Shit.
And it's like totally free reign. So like for that, I really, really love my job at the museum because it's like I get to be as creative as I want. I get to take personal like
Input
passion into like what I think we should discuss in a week-long setting, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so oceans is the umbrella, then, you know, my job is to insert some physical science practice into that. So like seafloor mapping, bathymetry, right? Like that's rad. How do we go about actually figuring out what does the bottom of the seafloor look like?
Fuck
Because
yeah.
that's a super challenging feat, right?
Uh-huh.
We actually know
Map it out.
more about the surface of Mars than we do about the
Bottom
bottom,
of the
of the ocean on our own
so
planet.
fucking cool.
Which is crazy.
They don't have a like robot that can just go down, or does it just get crushed?
So we do, but there's no light down there.
So and
right?
it can't.
so you can hook it up with flashlights, but then like your mapping is
get it.
confined, right, to like what is the spread of the light permeation down there, which is not great, right?
Yeah.
It's really opaque because
Is it just
water
one?
molecules are so compressed from all the pressure of everything that's sitting on top of it.
So it doesn't even go that far. The light can't travel.
Not really. So what they end up doing actually is like sonar. They just take boats,
Fucking bats.
and they bounce a signal, a sound beam off of the seafloor like surface, and it reflects back up to the boat, and they just measure the time delay.
Oh shit!
And then from there,
and then
they
know
just
how deep it is.
Yeah, they just generate a map
That's
from that.
fucking cool.
Damn.
And then
that's fucking Tony Stark shit.
So we have like we have a general understanding of what the whole ocean looks like to some level of resolution.
Okay.
But the goal is to like be able to get like really, really nice high resolution maps so that we can actually try to figure out what the nooks and crannies look like.
Yeah.
Because that's where like we can start to understand what kind of wildlife lives down there.
Yeah.
Start taking out the resources.
Exactly.
There it is. Get the diamonds.
Well, we're already doing
the bottom
that.
of the ocean diamonds. That's what we're talking
We're
about.
already doing that to some pretty incredible degree. The problem is like the private companies that are doing offshore drilling that do their own bathymetry mapping.
They don't
private.
share it.
They don't share it.
Cunts.
But
Fucking cunts.
But the way they go about doing it is actually really fucked up.
Yeah, thanks BP, you fucking asshole.
Kind of.
Fuck BP.
They take basically dynamite. In a sense, it's not really dynamite, but it's like it's like a explosive air capsule, and they just fire it off because that creates a huge spread of sound.
So they can get the mapping, but they destroy the whole area.
And the whales and shit that are in the area are going deaf because
what the fuck?
It's so fucked.
I don't mean to laugh, but goddamn, fuck. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. The whales don't know, but fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And they're probably just we could cover greater ground, fuck the whales and everything else.
So I think
can't hurt a whale. That's some cunt shit.
Yeah, right.
British Petroleum. That sounds like a fucking Harry Potter spell.
Bunch of dorks.
Yeah, fuck you, BP and Exxon and.
But yeah, so there is legislation nowadays that they have to be within a certain radius of a whale sighting if they're gonna do that kind of shit. But it's still I mean, who the fuck's monitoring them?
Yeah,
no one's out in the middle of the ocean on the boats, right? Nobody. So,
how many robots do you think they send down before they're like, oh, the Kraken?
The Kraken.
There's some crazy ass shit at the bottom of the ocean.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
What is the fish? I mean, it's not really the bottom, but because we know about it, I guess. But what's the fish with the fucking lamp?
The lantern.
Yeah,
shit?
the lanternfish or an anglerfish.
That's what they're called.
Those are the scariest looking fucking things. In the ocean.
They have really big teeth, right? Or just
no, they have the
just really
craziest
wide
underbite I've ever seen in my fucking life, and it just sticks out of their fucking face.
See,
it touches their eyes. It's just like a.
Wasn't that the shit in SpongeBob when he went into the
fucking rock bottom? That shit. Yeah, fuck that.
That's a really disturbing episode of SpongeBob.
Terrifying.
It's early on. It's episode 3 or 4.
It's grainy as fuck. You can see spilt coffee on the animation cells, all that shit. Yeah. That one fucked me up. Also because I have this weird fear of being trapped. Not trapped in a cave, which would suck, but that's not what it is. It's like being trapped in a mental asylum or something, and people aren't letting you leave. It's you're trying to communicate and they won't let you out.
Right.
I have a weird
they're subliminally all in on it, and you're trying to find help, and they're all
the whole Truman Show thing.
Yeah, dude.
Somebody Helen Hunt or whoever the fuck was trying to get him out. Just give him a shotgun. Let's see how real these fucking method actors are when Jim Carrey starts going Columbine on that ass.
Dude, I wouldn't give Jim Carrey a shotgun right now. He's Is
he off his fucking rocker?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know too much.
I know he's painting.
Kayla's brother, Chris, who I think I
met him, yeah.
He was sharing a bunch of videos with me about how Jim Carrey's he's just got a weird new philosophy on life. I don't know if something happened or not, but he's
something probably definitely happened to him.
What is it? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. I don't know. I think somebody. This might be total slander, so like I don't know if this is true or not.
Allegedly,
but I think somebody close to him died, and the family of that person blames him.
Oh.
Well, I was gonna say what his philosophy is.
Oh, that he's like just gone super like rugged, right? Like he's like off the grid.
I've seen a few.
All right.
It's
Well,
not,
you know what?
Which is not like totally bizarre, but it's kind of bizarre for him.
Yeah, exactly, because like how his normal character, or just like how he normally would be.
I feel like once you're like Jim in the 90s, you're Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
You can't walk without someone going up, you know?
Totally.
So,
but also he's going to be Dr. Robotnik in the new Sonic movies, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Take whatever I say with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah.
I might be talking
don't know,
about
man.
somebody totally
I saw
different.
him on Comedians in Cars doing drinking coffee or whatever, the Jerry Seinfeld show.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he was just showing, like, he has this giant studio space. He's like painting. He's doing these big ass paintings, and they're not horrible. Like they're pretty good. But he has like this is from the mural.
Oh,
I was stealing paint like a motherfucker. I had like 7 of these. But he just has like a racks of the like just to put the good paint. This is trash paint. This sucks. Like I was using it the other day, like on that thing, like, and it was just horrible. But he has like golden like gallon paints. I'm like, oh, that's that mask money,
right? Must be nice.
Paint. That's why we need that boarding house money.
Yeah. That's that Ace Ventura good.
Yeah. It's just like we need to record you coming out of a rhino's ass, sweaty as fuck, and then I can get good paint. Okay, Reggie? I'm gonna whore
Why
you
do I have
out.
to always be in these fucked up situations? I don't know if you've been listening, but he's trying to put me in a sidecar for the past
Motorcycle.
okay,
So
the past like 5 weeks
Phil-
now.
Phil
Like,
got
all right.
me. This
Yeah.
is where Reggie works.
it's an electric.
They sell Uber bikes, like Uber
They sell
Eats
electric bikes,
Okay.
motorcycles,
like delivery men bikes.
skateboards, and scooters.
Okay.
He was asking what type like of bike.
But they have like electric, real motor. Not
Yeah,
like
like
the-
legit-
not bicycles. Like
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
with the
legit
brick,
motorcycles.
Yeah.
So we
I
pull
was
it up,
looking
and then he picks the one with the sidecar.
Well, yeah, because it looks like something like Captain
This shit is
America would
80
fucking-
grand. Like,
No, it's not. It's 20 grand.
Shit
It's
is
20
80
grand.
grand.
No, it's
Like-
not 80. It's 20. Like, well, you work
It's
there. You should know this.
made by Tesla.
Yes, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But I was saying, yo, we should get this eventually.
He says we. I'm like,
Like,
all right, one and one. Like,
6 months time, I'm obviously going to be
Just charge
rich
it
as
to the
fuck.
game,
One and
bro.
one,
Yeah,
what
no
the
problem.
fuck?
So we'll get that, and it'll become the podcast mobile. Dude, this thing looks like it's
it's dope looking. Don't
it's
get me
fire.
wrong.
It's fire.
It's super dope, but I'm not sitting in no fucking sidecar.
I can get familiar with the way you talk.
What?
I don't know.
Yo,
what that
Katana,
was.
what's
Yo,
good?
Yeah, that was wild. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Did you say Katana instead of
Cortana.
Cortana?
I think I did. Yeah.
All right,
Can you
so-
imagine Katana from Mortal
Mortal
Kombat? Was
Kombat.
that
Giant tits. All right, Philip Hockey. Motorcycle.
Just type in Euro because that's the name of the.
Oh, I put kike. Moto kike. That's not good. That's not good. All right, so
Ural.
Ural. Sidecar motorcycles, dude. Look at these things. All right,
I think it's badass.
It is,
Yeah.
but
that's like
cool.
something Indiana Jones or like
Yeah.
Captain America and Bucky are riding it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, this could be the podcast mobile.
Right? What's that scene in Metal Gear Solid 4 where Snake's like
I
riding
don't
through
know.
the thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
didn't
never.
play. Not
yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not
That's too
a
deep a
Metal Gear
cut.
Solid. Yeah. I was a Splinter Cell guy.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so I was saying let's get this, put the podcast emblem on it, and just drive around, right? And
Dude,
I was like,
yeah.
and Reggie's like, yo, I ain't riding in a sidecar. That's for your lady. That's for your lady. I was
That's
like,
true.
Yo, we could switch around. Like I'll ride the sidecar, but whenever we take pictures, I'm on the motorcycle.
It's an A day, B day
Yes,
type of
yeah,
cycle.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But we only take pictures on the A day when I'm driving the motorcycle. But
And
then
yet-
I was trying to sweeten the deal, give them a couple of morsels. We let's put a turret on it. Like a paintball turret.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fire. Okay, so then when we're driving and say somebody we could become vigilantes. Now, what if somebody throws like a cigarette butt out of their car and it hits you. It'd be troublesome, but if we don't have any way to get them without the paintball gun, we can't do anything. No, it's already on there.
What if we gave Reggie abilities like in Mario Kart Double Dash?
Well, that was my next thing. I'll give you some shells, some turtles,
bananas.
Some bananas. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We'll just drive down Broadway and just like
just flap. Giant snapping turtles.
I don't see the vision. I'm sorry.
Right into people's windshields.
I don't see the vision, man.
Right, so, and then I was like, you remember the Warthog in Halo?
Yes.
Who doesn't like being on the tank?
But the Warthog is built totally like there's no like side piece. Like I'm legit in the back. Okay. It literally could be you two in the front.
Let's not call it the sidecar then. Let's call it the Reggie extension.
No. I don't care how you change the name. It is a sidecar. You could give me a name. You could legally like.
It's the Reggie Mobile, and I'm the attachment.
No, because I'm still in it. Like I'm in it.
Anyway, so that was what we were talking about. Yeah. There's whatever. Reggie has some self-esteem issues.
I just don't see the vision.
He wants to each have motorcycles.
What if we get like a third person who is tied to a rope on a skateboard behind you guys? Then you're like kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Then you're no longer the lowest on the totem. Okay, so
that makes me feel a little bit
What
better.
if we get two sidecars? So then it's more like a tricycle.
Who's riding in the front? You still?
Yeah.
And I got some empty ass, big ass car to my
we'll
left
put
or right.
We'll put the guests. It'll be like Comedians of Cars with Coffee, except we'll be vigilantes.
All right. Now we could maybe start having negotiations.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
All right. So we'll get the bananas. We'll get the shells.
Still at the low cost of $22,000. So act soon, guys.
Yeah. And a whole summer's worth of AC to charge it.
Shit.
Yeah, that would be fire. No, not down with it. Anyway, all right, whatever. Let's get back to school. My dream was always for us to go. I wanted to go to one of your classes, and then I found out that you have to be like a high school student to go. Like I wanted us to go experience a week of the classes. I thought that would be cool. I'd pay for whatever.
Not even like a special guest, like if we pay or anything?
We could we could do it like unofficially. On a week that I don't actually have class to teach. You guys could like come to the museum and I could pretend like I'm doing the full camp for just you guys.
Right. That would be fucking cool.
Right.
I honestly think that would probably be worthwhile for me because like my one like caveat with working at the museum relative to like where I've worked in informal education before is that everything that I do for them is like always brand new, right? So I'm never practiced to the point where like I feel like I should be, right? Like I'm sure to a 7th grader, like it's fine.
You're a
genius.
Like to me, you seem like a genius. You're like, we're gonna map the ocean floor. I'm like, wow, really? How are we gonna get like bats? Like bats? Like they could use the ears? Like,
we're the two special kids. We'll just put on
we can't read. We're like sonar.
We have the guest passes around our neck.
But yeah, I think it would be cool if I got to like just have a trial run with like just other people about the shit that we're trying to do. It's like you kind of, and I'm supposed to do this with my colleagues, right? But nobody ever has any fucking time set aside to be
like, wait, you want to teach what?
Yeah.
Yo, listen to science. What is this?
But
yeah, just I make it fun.
Okay, we could definitely do something.
So down to Reggie, would you be?
100%. Hell yeah.
Down. I'll bring a composition notebook.
Expand my fucking.
I'm gonna pack a lunch.
Bring a Lunchables.
Yeah.
The class I have next week is actually super interesting. I think I mentioned it to you already. It's the Digital Universe Flight School.
Yes.
So
what? Yo.
Basically,
what?
Hold on. While he
just a name.
I gotta get the other bottle of wine.
Oh.
So what it is it's a week-long camp where we teach middle school kids how to build their own planetarium show that they then put on at the end of the Friday.
That's so much better.
In the Hayden Planetarium.
That's so much better than like, build a volcano or like, I don't know, do whatever else you want, like with plants or something.
It's super legit. So
how the fuck? All right, what materials, whatever, do you give them, or just?
So we have a class set of Alienware laptops that can run this program called Uniview, which is basically a scale model.
Rosé?
Yeah, sure. A scale model universe that thank you. You can like just basically maneuver the camera in wherever you want. So
like Forge in fucking Halo 3.
yeah, kind of like that actually. So you can like zoom all the way out from Earth to the farthest extent of the observable universe, right? And it's all literally to precision scale, where like as you're zooming, like you see the rest of the solar system planets like come
forming
into focus,
together,
then the
yeah.
sun, then you like see all the other stars that are like nearby in the stellar neighborhood, then you zoom out to the arm of the Milky Way, then you see the Milky Way, then
I'm
you
trying to
see
do
all
that.
the galaxies.
Yo,
It's
that's like
wild.
Yeah.
You're God.
I'm
It's
trying
so
to do
cool.
that.
Only you, God, and Dr. Manhattan can do that shit.
And then I have to get middle school kids to wrap their minds around this.
Fuck them.
within a week.
Like, they're wasting it on these idiots.
I
Like,
know.
I'm way smarter than them.
And then they have to choose a topic of whatever they're like interested in to give like a 5 to 7 minute like show
Yeah.
in the dome at the end of the week with. So it's like it's a tall order. It's like
Yeah,
wait,
in
the
a week,
dome-
yeah.
Is that the IMAX, the big?
the planetarium dome, yeah, the Haydn planetarium.
That's so
they,
fucking cool.
I know they actually get to come back into like the cockpit where it looks like this. There's a
Yeah.
soundboard, there's screens, right? Like, and then their projection from what they're working with on the software on the laptops there actually displays in the full dome experience for their
I don't think
parents.
these kids know what they're getting
No, they
into.
definitely
So
do because.
rad.
Okay, how many of these kids are forced into doing this?
Oh,
More than you think.
Oh,
actually,
really?
Yeah.
Really?
And
Damn.
and a lot of them. So the funniest thing is tomorrow, this is day one of the camp. The first thing I'm going to say to them, I'm going to bring them up to the planetarium and be like, how many of you guys think that this has something to do with being an actual pilot? Because the class is called Digital Universe Flight School.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And more than one will raise their hands because their parents signed them up for it. They have no idea what they've gotten themselves into.
Okay, so this is what you do. When they answer wrong, you have a super sticker or a Nerf gun. A Nerf gun. Yeah. Just pap.
yeah, just
School shooter John.
right in the forehead.
Just a little one. Like, speaking of Taxi Driver, just fucking
yeah, right.
Outta here.
No, but it's funny because then like, you know, getting back, so then it opens with like I give them a private personalized space show, right?
Mhm.
And they get to just chill like in the middle of the Haydn sphere like by themselves. But it's before it's open to the public. So then we get back from that and go into the classroom and it's like, all right, now that you've seen what I just did with it and you know what some of the capabilities of this software is, it's going to be up to you and a partner to put on your own version of that in that setting. And for a middle school kid, that's like,
That's a lot.
holy
Yeah.
shit, right? Like that's
I can explore the universe.
Yeah.
And I gotta make something interesting out of
Yeah.
it. Whoa.
it's a big
Yeah.
big deal, right, to them.
For me, I like am hearing this and
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I was just thinking, I
I
was like,
paint at home like an asshole.
But I mean that's amazing too, right? Like
No, it's not.
you're
No, it's not.
So all I do, right? I almost feel like
These
somebody.
are the kids that are going to be saving the planet from
I hope
the
so.
floods. Like
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
I hope so. I taught another class on climate change 2 weeks ago. We can talk about that another time if we want.
We can talk
but-
about it now. We have no time limit, no time constraints. I know you have work in the morning, and then that's
fuck
literally
it, bro.
our-
But fuck it, bro.
yeah.
See when I'm dead.
That's the only time constraint when you want to get out of here.
Cool. So, the whole experience has to be boiled down to something that they get some positivity out of, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, right, my whole goal is to just not turn people off from science,
Yeah.
right? So as long as
With the Nerf gun.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that honestly would probably work to my benefit because
Yeah.
the whole class would get amped up if I shot somebody with a Nerf gun.
it's like our teacher has
But-
a Nerf gun.
Yeah, that actually might be bad. Don't do that.
but that's what's like so different from actual school, right? Is that like it's not whether or not they can effectively build a planetarium show for an audience at the end of the week. That's not what the class is about.
Yeah.
That's what we tell them the goal is,
Oh.
right? But ultimately, it's for me to introduce concepts in astronomy to middle school people who otherwise would never know about this at this age,
Yeah.
right? And to incite
fucking amazing.
some excitement about like a research opportunity that, you know, if you like latch onto just one of the many topics that I'm gonna like pepper into this class, and you set your sights on like trying to solve some problem about like the geology of Mars or whatever it is, right? Then I've done my job, right? Because then that person gets a head start at 7th grade focusing on this one scientific thing to like dive into,
Yeah.
and then ultimately push us as humanity a little further
I feel
along, right?
useless right now because he's like, I'm teaching him about the universe, man, and like sonar, and we're gonna expand minds, and they're gonna solve it. I'm like, I painted some asshole to look like Spider-Man today. Like that's what I did.
But what I was gonna say actually is that what I just do is I'm just like a translator. I didn't make the software. I didn't make the universe. You know, like how it is. I just know
maybe
about
you did.
it.
Maybe
right?
he's Dr. Manhattan. John's got a blue dick.
But what you guys do, you and Kyla and my girlfriend, as like actual creators, like you guys take the world and portray it in a way that has not really been done before, right?
We're doing the same exact shit, brother. You're translating. We're translating. Our language can just be really shitty sometimes,
You know,
because we're not good. That's it.
no, you guys are both fucking amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
But like what I'm getting at is actually science needs art, right? Like you can't ever hope to visit an exoplanet, right?
Yeah.
Like another faraway world, if you're not inspired by what it might look like, and to portray what it might look like in this exotic place, you need an artist, right? And
the whole museum is like all of those like taxidermy things, like all of the Reggie, when's the last time you've been to the Museum of Natural History?
Probably in junior high school. Yeah.
Jesus, all right, so we're gonna go.
I can give you free tickets.
I'm
We
down.
get in for free. He can get us to like into the paid exhibits, but we can get into for free because we're in tri-state area residents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like
It's also
suggested admission.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
suggested, so.
But every you go in, you see the tigers and shit,
Mhm.
the taxidermy. The backgrounds are painted, like hand painted.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
really stunning.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
I've never knew
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna go. We're gonna go.
Holy
we're
shit.
We're gonna go. But yeah, so I was just like throwing that in because
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
Art and science.
They have to be. It's like that meme of like the guys with the muscles, you know, like
Right, that's from Predator. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger and
that's right.
Carl Weathers. The most manly handshake of all time.
I love it. I love it when that meme says avocado $1.60, toast 30 cents, and then in the middle it says avocado toast $10.95. It's like, what the fuck?
I was having speaking of avocado toast, even though it has nothing to do with science, I'm just
Science.
baffled on how expensive that shit is. I went to a place like 2 weekends ago. This shit was like $17.
For the listeners, we're watching this thing.
You son of a bitch.
Yo,
look at that.
Yo, it's
so
good. Power. So that's power. All right. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so you were buying avocado toast for?
I wasn't buying avocado toast. The place I went to, I was just looking at the menu. I'm just baffled by like millennials make this fucking stupid thing called avocado toast and charge $17 for some toasted bread and avocado.
Yeah, we've come full circle,
Yeah.
my friend.
All right. So back to the science.
So yeah, I told Kyla actually that I thought this was funny. I was like, I'm really just gonna hijack Colby's podcast to do my podcast.
You should.
So
listen, we've had guests on here. I won't name any names, Otto, but where I wanted to slip my wrist about like the whole podcast. I'm just kidding.
I was dropping a boat.
Otto, as a comic, you should understand that I'm just like making fun of you, and it's just a joke. But yeah, so listen, there have been episodes where I'm like, yeah, like. That's crazy.
He's just not in tune.
That's crazy.
Sometimes, he just tuned
I'm
out.
not like I guess it's a podcast, but I'm not a fucking professional interviewer.
Yeah, right.
So when someone's boring, or I think they're boring, I am just
Yeah.
Here you go, Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I passed the buck.
I feel you. Sometimes
So-
when it feels like work.
Yeah,
And you're like,
which I don't want it to be. We have beer, we have wine.
AC.
AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off right now, but it's yeah. So hijack.
Yeah.
This is
Do what you
science
must.
with brews. I forgot what it was called.
So the one thing I was reading about pretty recently was that they discovered in one of the moon rocks that the Apollo 14 astronauts brought back to Earth as a sample. So this is not the first crew. This is like one of the last crews. They brought this giant, like, not a boulder, but like a rock back with them. They just did a full geochemical analysis of this rock and determined that it's actually an Earth rock.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what that means is that it's a piece of a meteorite from Earth.
Oh shit.
That got blasted off and put on the moon, and the astronauts went there, thought, wow, this is kind of a weird looking rock in comparison to like the rest of the landscape, and brought it back to Earth.
Okay, now is that from a fucking like dinosaur era volcano?
So
From the meteor hitting it and like it shooting off?
So
a ricochet?
So the most fascinating part to me is that it's even earlier than that, right?
Oh, damn.
My.
So the only reason
bang.
they were able to know that this is definitely an Earth rock is because the composition of the zircons, which are like these like small super.
This is probably the smartest podcast we've
Oh,
ever had.
100%.
They're like small, super durable, dense crystals.
Okay.
They were formed definitely at the same time that the rock was formed, and at a depth of like 170 kilometers, which if that happened on the moon, there's no recycling event that could churn some rock that was formed at that depth up to the surface, right? The moon doesn't have plate tectonics. There's no active volcanism
Because it's just a rock.
it's just a dead
One
world,
big ass,
right?
yeah.
Nothing is shifting around there.
Is it a world or like what is it? Does anybody know? No, right?
I refer to it as a world because I think that moons and planets should be in an all-encompassing
Because they affect
Thing,
each other.
yeah.
They
dwarf
affect each
planets,
other.
moons,
Yes.
they're all the same thing.
You say
really.
dwarf planets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like
Pluto.
Pluto got the most.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. If that's okay.
Is it back to being a planet?
Not officially.
Not
It's still a
officially.
dwarf planet. And
Did Neil Tyson say something about it being a planet?
I don't know what Neil's current stance on it is, but I know that there are prominent astrophysicists who like the principal investigator of the New Horizons mission that actually went and got our first high-res images of Pluto because it flew by it.
Yeah.
He is like an advocate for Pluto being a planet and anything. All
Make-
the moons. Just
Yeah.
think of all planets. Why do we have
Matter
this,
what size.
this ambiguous
Yeah.
distinguishing
Make
fact,
Pluto
like-
great again.
Exactly.
That's
Make
gonna be our
Pluto-
next time I'm on the podcast. We're gonna get those.
No,
hats.
it's
Make
make
Pluto
Pluto
great again.
Make Pluto a planet again.
No, great again.
Okay.
We got to do what
It's
works.
got to be a red hat with white letters.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to follow in the footsteps.
I could do that.
Because you see hats that'd be like, make people read again.
That's lazy.
So it's
Make
you go,
people
you,
read.
So you can
You
go
will
to,
read.
Yeah, you can go to Strand and get a hat that says like make books great again, make people read again.
Yeah.
But it's got to be like the same font as the Trump hat. So when
think
people
that's,
see you, they get tight until they read the hat, and then you'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Don't. They
Yeah.
got their fist
Yeah,
up. It's like,
word.
whoa, read.
Not chill. If somebody puts your fist up because you have a hat on, you should punch them anyway.
Yeah.
The color is red. It's a hat and some
Not
font.
chill.
Like,
Yo, do you think Kanye was getting snuffed when he had the
No.
MAGA.
No.
Exactly.
That's also because he has a shit ton of money and nobody's touching him.
I'm just saying, if somebody's wearing a hat, you shouldn't be able to punch him.
Yeah, it's just a hat.
It's just a hat.
Relax.
If an image triggers you.
Yeah, but you can't just go punching people. If I see somebody wearing a swastika, I shouldn't be allowed to punch them.
You shouldn't?
No.
Do you feel like you should be able to do something?
I could, but it shouldn't.
You could do a verbal.
You should not be able to get away with it.
I think that we should educate our people to the point where they just know that that's in poor taste.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you don't know that that's in poor taste, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's like, I don't like. There's like a lot of like people are talking about like censorship and all this stuff, and it's not legal censorship. I mean, at least not here in Canada that people are getting in trouble and shit. But I don't think it should be against the law to say things, because then that fucks with freedom of speech. And the government and corporations are already doing creepy shit with that law enacted. That's why it shouldn't be touched at all.
Yeah.
Because people are already breaking it and getting away with it. But once it's like you can only say these things, then it's you never give up power. You always gain power. So like you don't want to say, oh, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to wear this, but like he's saying, you should educate people. You should be like, yo, this is why you shouldn't wear this, and not like yell or call them idiots. And like it's like you need to
go anything straight to the extreme or violent.
You just need to explain why. And if they don't understand after that, it's,
then that's just, then
you just leave it alone.
Yeah.
And those are like the kids that can't read in high school. But
and that's when you could call them
those
idiot.
are the fools.
Yeah.
You know, then every population has had them.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you just disregard them from
exactly.
there. Like,
yeah. Instead of
like
like
waste energy or effort into that.
Yeah, it's.
And also from a overarching governmental or corporation like viewpoint, right? Like, I hate this idea of censorship and silencing and deplatforming, because and this is going to be a really stupid analogy, but like my whole thing is like, you don't nerf, right? You buff others.
Yes.
Right? If you nerf somebody in a game meta, then you're like lowering the common denominator so that there's just one way to play, right? And that's the right way to play.
Yeah.
If you instead buff existing characters to the point where they're now just as powerful as the one that needs to be nerfed, then you've got way more options. You've got way more flexibility of like how anything can go. And I feel like that is what our current situation is like, people think, and it's really not the government actually, it's for somehow, right? It's actually private corporations like Facebook and Google that are silencing and deplatforming people that they have opposing viewpoints with, and that is lowering the common denominator to now the next
that is a fantastic
most egregious point
analogy.
Like that is way better than
right? Like, you silence Alex Jones,
Yeah.
okay, fine, he's ludicrous and he probably shouldn't be saying the things that he's saying, but by silencing him, you make the next most horrible person the most horrible person.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you keep going down that road, you finally get to a point on both sides where like it squeezes the middle ground, and there's one right way to be, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's totally opposite to what
Red, do you know who Alex Jones is?
No.
He's all right. So the gifs that we send in the group chat where it's like, well, I'm kind of retarded.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's that guy, and he has a show.
Yeah, what the hell is it called?
Not important.
So I'm just gonna be like Alex Jones, just to help your brain show.
Fuck.
I forget.
It's AP News.
It's something.
Wait,
just put show.
What is the show?
No, it's like something like the something report or I forget.
Oh boy.
Not for nothing.
Google doesn't help.
If you don't have to agree with Infowars. There
Infowars, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
gotcha.
That's it.
So you don't have to fuck. If you ever listen to him, he's been right about some shit, and like he like recorded like these motherfuckers, like the like politicians that gathered at this thing, and they burn an effigy. Like it's just like politicians. It's called Bohemian Grove, and they all get together in robes, and they burn this like owl effigy or something. And he got video. He was talking about it, and then he like snuck in, and he got in, and then and then he was talking about. He said something like, I think about that something like 9/11 was going to happen because the government wanted to get into the Middle East and then 9/11 happened.
Weird.
And like,
is that his claim to fame? Because I don't know where he comes from.
Something like that. Yeah. But he's not as like crazy as like he says fucked up shit, and like it's just he's not as I don't know, he's not as like he said some shit about the fucking school shootings, how they were fake or something like that. Now he's getting sued by them. The one that happened in Connecticut, he was saying that it's like
Sandy
fake.
Hook.
Yes, Sandy Hook. So he like said that they were like paying people to like talk about them, but there's like a massive conspiracy theory that like, and there's like I was listening to I forgot which podcast, but they were talking about how if you look back to each school shooting, there's always something else in the news that overtakes, and that's just a thing that happens when they want the news to stop talking about what's
on something
happening.
else.
So Jeffrey Epstein happened, 2 school shootings, and then he kills himself, and then but it's just school shootings.
You know,
creepy shit.
Yeah,
creepy shit.
I think there is some validity to that. I'm not like a conspiracy theorist, and I certainly don't like align my views with Alex.
No, of course.
But I think that ultimately the media is trying to and successfully is controlling the way people think in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
dude,
I can see how the mindset of the masses of people have totally just ruined people's lives before, right? So I listened to a PlayStation podcaster, Colin Moriarty.
Beyond.
He was from IGN and all
the glasses, right?
Yeah, he's fire.
His most recent podcast that he does after so much shit happened to this guy, right? He's been mislabeled so
he's
much,
like a little
right?
He's a little right.
He's a little bit more conservative than liberal, but honestly he says a lot of liberal things, right?
There's no centrists anymore.
I know,
because when you're like, okay, I kind of agree with that, I kind of agree with that, I disagree with that, I disagree with that, there's no large platform for it, so you get just silence.
Yeah.
Or the left people attack you on your right views, and the right people attack you on your left views, and then you're done.
So his most recent debacle with all of this is that he signed up to do a panel at PAX West in Seattle. And PAX agreed. They were like, yeah, we're going to give you one of the largest theaters. And they were just going to host the PlayStation podcast that they do, him and this other guy, Chris. And PAX was like, you're confirmed, start publicizing it to your audience so that people buy tickets and they come, right? So he starts doing that. And then out of nowhere, PAX emails him and goes, sorry, we're not going to host you anymore. For no reason, right? They didn't actually explicitly say anything to him. And now all those people that bought tickets to go see him at the show are shit out of luck, right?
Yeah.
So his whole argument is so what do I tell my audience?
Yeah.
Right? You're just stealing their money, you know? Fuck you.
He had so what happened with him where he had I don't want to say scandal, but it was for the video, for the audio, I'm parenthesizing scandal,
air quotes.
Air quotes.
His thing that set the masses ablaze, right, was on a few years ago. There was a trending hashtag called "The Day Without a Woman," right, and it was supposed to reflect what your job would be like with no women in the workplace, right? And you know, it was like it was a positive thing, right? It was supposed to be like all encompassing of like, we need women in the workplace, they are equals, and like obviously that is what I think most people believe in the current age, even if salaries still don't reflect that, right? So he made a sarcastic joke on Twitter that said, peace and quiet, a day without a woman, which is like such a stupid old like,
but it's a joke.
It's a joke.
Obviously a joke.
But it's also
this
Twitter.
guy's whole life got fucking turned upside down.
Bullshit.
To the point where like people were, you know, just calling for his death, right? He ends up not getting any support from any of the people that he founded his podcasting company with at the time, right? Nobody stands up for him.
He wasn't with IGN anymore?
No.
Okay.
So this must have been like right after he left. And because I was going to ask, when did this take place? Because I remember there was a time where like there was a good amount of them that just left, did their own shit, and it was just quiet for so long. And I was just like, I don't follow these guys. Where did they go? And then just...
So they like had moved from IGN to a company called Kind of Funny, and they had a Twitch show and like all sorts of other YouTube content or whatever, and like nobody from Kind of Funny, which is just like a 5-person outfit at the time, which was all men, which is also part of the joke, right? Like peace and quiet. You don't even work with any women, you know what I mean? You work with the loudest men, actually, which is ironic. Right?
They were doing this just in like some small or whatever, like an office.
Nobody is like, all right, guys, Colin's not a misogynist, right?
Oh,
like,
so the people he worked with didn't... Oh, those cunts.
They didn't stand up for him at all. So he was like,
they let him
fuck it. All right, I'm going to leave the company. I'm out. You know, like, I'm going to go do my own thing. And since then, he's still... Even though he probably provides, like, the most accurate, newsworthy information in podcast form for video games currently out of anybody, nobody that like would have collaborated with him before will even speak to him anymore. So it's like it's
fucked up, man.
like, but why? It's like it's about PlayStation. Like, relax, everybody. You know.
But it's like, oh boy.
There's like a thing. There's like a
because that was what
2000 going on right now.
Oh, what?
McCarthyism. Like there's like that's when the dude John McCarthy. I don't know. Fuck. What's his name? But he was the guy that was like blacklisting people. He was holding the trials for like telling people they're calling people communists and like blacklisting people. And turns out he was like this like fucking like cunt. Like he was just a liar. And he was like saying, oh, I have all these lists and like I have all this. And this is before people could Google shit. So people like was like, yeah, he's a politician. He's right. Like, you know, he was standing on the soapbox or whatever. And like, but it turned into this whole thing, and like he ruined a shit ton of lives, and that's kind of what's happening right now.
What do people gain though by like ruining somebody else's career, or just like
they get retweets?
All right, for a hot moment,
they get
like
that serotonin, juicy serotonin.
For how long does that last for? Like
that should feel good though.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, right? Like
for sure.
Like what is the end goal, right? Yeah. And I felt really bad because not to like bring it back to this guy, but like Colin put out a personal podcast where it was just like him recording by himself to his Patreon audience, where he was like, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I'm not suicidal, but what's the end goal of these people that are trying to deplatform me? That I fucking put a gun to my head? Yeah. Is that what you want? Yeah. Right? Like it doesn't make any sense, right? Like why are you so adamant about making sure your mindset is the only mindset that can exist? I don't get that with people, right? Like, why can't we have diversity of thought at all?
Instead of starting
I think there should be. I mean, it's I don't know.
What's the problem with
that? Because I feel like we can have this conversation like at a bar, or not even at a bar, but just like out in public. Like, remember that one time we were on a train? We were on like the 4 train. I forgot where we were going, but we were just shooting the shit. And then like there were mad people just like listening. In. And it was like, but they were laughing because we were talking about some like funny shit. Yeah. And it was just like, I don't know. I could tell sometimes like with different friends that I'm with or whatever, and it's kind of like, oh, you want that? Like, you want to be a part of that, but you can't. So it's like either whatever the one thing that you don't like that either me or somebody else says, you'll just tackle on that, and then
everybody that's like jumping in on these things, like in Twitter or YouTube comments
sucks.
and all. Yeah, it sucks, but it's like these motherfuckers were all owned slaves. If it was slave times, like they're not going against the grain. They ain't shit.
Right.
Yeah.
What they say, they know they have. There's zero consequences. Like
there is a bandwagon,
yeah, there's no
and the
punishment,
bandwagon is
repercussions
full.
behind it.
The bandwagon is full of white knights right
yes,
now, right? Like
yeah,
it's like
they're like
martyrs, right?
Yeah.
Like I will get on the bandwagon because
That's a huge wagon.
if they knew Anne
That shit
Frank
got a
was in the
heavy-ass
attic,
engine,
if
too.
they knew Anne Frank was in the attic, they'd be like, "Oh, she's up there." Get that bitch. She's up there. I hear her. She's stomping the yard up there. Like, get that bitch. You know, like, yeah. They wouldn't have been like, "Oh, you're Jewish. Like, come hang. Like, come chill."
Yeah.
They would maybe like talk about it with other people,
Right,
but once it came down to it,
other privileged people who are
Yeah,
not in the attic, they'd be
yeah.
like, "Is it so fucked up that people are up in the attic?"
If there was a Jew right here, I'd put him into my breast and let them nap. And
I
they'd
totally
feed them.
would do this if I had the
they'd
opportunity.
like, give me your weak and weary, like the whole Statue of Liberty shit. Get the fuck out
I know.
of here.
Everyone's
They'd be like,
so full
send
of
them to
shit.
the ovens.
Word.
Give them the gas. Like, send them to the showers. Like, all that shit. Fucking, yeah. It's, I don't know. I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And he usually says that there's it's like a pendulum. So like for so long it was like pretty much like racist shit was okay.
That's
and, like,
true.
Discriminating against people that weren't whatever. And now it's swinging back.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's what it is.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Is this the extreme of the side that we're on though?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it gets not like
Yeah.
worse, but like,
I think we're still on the uptick.
bro, that shit is trying to do a fucking 360. like that shit is high. Like, fuck.
That shit that you always try to do on the swing
Yeah.
side, but
Yeah.
you could never really
The
do. You're like,
swing,
yo,
yeah,
what if I
yeah,
like went
yeah.
all the way
Like
up?
nothing's coming back. Like shit is just going up. I'm just like,
yeah.
we're gonna be looking up soon.
No, I don't know, man.
But I do agree. It does feel like that a little bit. It just feels like I said, it's close. Like it's real close. I have nothing to say. I have nothing else to say about that. I just get into my feelings too much, and I have too much wine. So
It's funny because like when you really analyze any one particular topic, you realize that like both extremities to the sides, right, have it wrong. They always have it wrong. You know, it's like the middle ground is full of people who are not vocal on the internet. You know, like the vocal people are the extremities.
Yeah.
So right, because like I don't get fired up to tell people about climate change. You know, like on rare occasion, right? Do I like call anybody out on Facebook about their views on climate change, right? But like, and I think most people are like me in that sense, where it's like, no, they understand that it's happening. It's obvious that it's happening. It's obvious that like humans have contributed to it to some degree, and we should probably change our practices to be a little bit more sustainable if we want planet Earth to be, you know,
Sustainable for us.
right.
Yeah.
And then everybody else that actually speaks about it on both sides of the spectrum,
It's crazy.
have it completely bonkers in their head. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of arguing based on headlines because
Exactly.
nobody clicks on like nobody's like reading the fucking Times, right? Like there's like a demographic for the Times, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And someone like you or me, I can speak for myself. I do not buy a newspaper every day. Do you?
No.
Do you even pick up a Metro anymore?
To be honest, no.
No. Do you
Let alone
read a
AM New
newspaper
York,
every day?
no.
No,
I get my news on my phone now,
I would
and
still,
it's all catered to like whatever I just like and shit.
Exactly.
Or
I would
whatever
still
wanna look
say
at.
that Twitter is still the most reliable source of information for first party information,
Yeah.
I could agree.
Yeah.
with
but
that.
it's the most risky place
To-
for
to-
picking up the wrong idea about something also, right? So like if you read through Twitter, you can get totally the wrong impression about something or somebody, right?
Because you're getting links and than people's opinions.
Right.
You're not getting the facts.
Right.
But to be honest,
And it's
news
already
hasn't just
webbed
been the
in-
facts for a long
No,
time.
no.
It's all opinion based. There's no op-ed. It's all op-ed.
It's all op-ed.
It's all
Everything is
op-ed.
op-ed. But if you know how to like take those biases into account as you read things, I actually think Twitter is the most valuable resource for information because everything you read is still a primary source, right? Like I know how Jessica Simpson feels about teddy bears or whatever because it comes
It's
from her,
her
right?
tweeting
Like
it, or her
right,
assistant. Like,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's her official brand's stance
Yeah.
on this thing, right? So like, I think that there's some value to that, and I feel like too many people in the United States rely on a secondary source to filter the information through to them.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to judge things for themselves.
Yeah, and they take
so
it
they
at face
end up
value.
falling into these camps.
But
that
then
we have.
it also it takes time to do that. You know, like
To formulate your own opinion?
No, not to form your own opinion. Well, that takes time, but it takes time to filter through bullshit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
some people don't even know they're being fed bullshit. Like, say
Yeah.
somebody that's like a little older, or somebody that's younger and doesn't know anything, and they're
Yeah.
just like, well,
That's the
why would
first
this
thing.
person lie about this?
Yeah.
And there's all these people reading this, and there's all these people retweeting it, and there's all these people that agree with this person. It's like, this person must be right.
right.
Real quick,
but
you want some more? I poured too much.
Sure.
Ooh,
I'll filter through. What I was going to say was...
I have to pee so bad.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, damn.
I have to pee so bad.
He's been sitting in like...
Oh yeah, I've had to pee for like
pretzel
15
position for so long.
minutes.
Which
Yeah.
is-
All right.
Real quick, did you peep the Fully Cooley shirt?
Oh, shit. No, I didn't
Shit,
even
that shit
realize.
is fire.
Is this...
You
May I
agree?
feel...
Yeah, please.
Oh, shit.
I picked this up
Oh,
at-
it's digital.
I picked this up at Comic-Con in
Ooh.
2014.
What?
Yeah,
Comic-Con?
he's cool.
I like that.
Museum of Natural History, anime.
But
Yeah,
check it
what's
out.
up?
I
What's
also
up?
feel like a huge asshole because
Why?
on the subway ride over here, I got my headphones fucking blaring Julian Casablancas, who's like,
Okay.
his new like
Uh-huh.
outfit is like all about how like disillusioned everybody is and like not in touch with reality, and it's like blaring in my head. And this guy was like, and I'm like, and I take the headphones out and I'm like, what? And he goes, oh, cool shirt. And he was like so like embarrassed that I was like, oh my god, I'm such a fucking asshole. You know?
Nah,
what
don't
I
feel
mean?
bad.
Like,
You're in
know
a
what?
train,
Yeah.
like-
You know what? He could have mouthed that fucking Big Mac.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Just
I
like,
know.
Like a
Yeah, he
boop,
like-
boop.
He
thumbs
like
up.
That's it,
didn't
yeah.
even make eye contact with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I was like, "Are you talking to me?
because-
Like, what's the deal?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
You talking to me, huh? You feeling lucky, fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I was on the train one time, and I was like, this couple was cosplayed, and I was a little drunk. I'm like, it's like probably Ambrose, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, yo, what fucking anime is this from? I'm fucked up. What anime?
It's like, I
is
know
this?
it.
I was like, I know it. And it was Akira. And finally, I was like,
cool.
ugh, this fucking Kaneda, this red asshole, this Kaneda. And I was like, Akira? And the guy's like, yeah. I was like, first off, don't say, yeah. In my head, I was like, all right, cool. But in my head, I'm like, you should have been like, yeah.
More.
Like, I
more-
reckon I was the only one in the train that was
Yeah.
like, you don't look like an asshole. 'Cause
Exactly.
I know what you're dressed like.
Yeah.
Right.
Show some fucking respect.
Because
So
what
maybe
was the
that guy
last?
was dealing with
Yeah,
that.
no,
I don't know.
exactly. Like, so I'm not originally from New York City, right? So
Yes.
like moving here, I am starting to see and pick up on the trends of like why we're so unfriendly here in New York, right? When it's like,
Especially when you're on the train, like
yeah, like
or any
that.
public transit. Like,
That should have been like a pleasant exchange where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, dude. You like Fully Cooley too? Wow, that's great. It's a 6 fucking episode anime from
yeah.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
More than that,
Yeah.
actually, 20 years ago. And, to have that weird, bizarre connection with somebody random is like, oh, yeah, sweet. Like, high five. You know what I mean? But instead, I was just like,
You're like, what?
you talking to me?
What you say?
You talking to me, bro? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Fuck you want.
Well, all right. You could have 10 good interactions on the train. One with the wrong crazy person ruins all 10.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it. It's just like when you go on Amazon And there's 100 good, like, man, this vacuum cleaner is great. It sucks up everything, all the dust bunnies, like, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, oh, this vacuum, like, sucked up my sister's IV and now she's dead. Like, well, maybe I don't want that vacuum. You know, like,
It's true.
There's just
Definitely ruined it for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. You go to a restaurant, it's like, wow, they're all great. It's like, hey, the cook, he came in my pancakes, you know. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like cum in my pancakes. And you're like, I don't think I want to go there. There might be cum in my pancakes.
Cum cakes, dude.
Yeah, there it is.
Everybody hates cum cakes.
Well, I don't know. There's a market for 'em somewhere.
That is a Twinkie.
By the way, we got a mini waffle press. Nice. So here we're living large up in Washington Heights. Kayla
like,
and I.
He's like, the cum cakes are coming.
They're coming, dude. You show up for breakfast at my place, you better watch out.
Yo, that's the breakfast club. Fuck out of here.
Yo,
I gotta pee.
Yo, go. We're gonna
Hold it down.
we're gonna get
ban
invited
for a little bit.
We're gonna get invited. Jonas like, yo, you want some waffles? It's like, why is it in sandwich form? It's like,
I can only make you one at a time, so
it's like, hey, I'll be back. I'll make the next one soon. It'll be okay.
the best was like we originally thought it was gonna be like a Belgian waffle press, right? And it was like very clearly mini waffle size, right? Like,
So like Eggo
you're
size?
making Eggos with this motherfucker. They're fluffier than
Yeah.
Eggos come, right? Not come.
No, I know.
In that sense.
How they come packaged,
Right.
delivered.
So in that sense, right, it's like a good addition to, you know, if you're already making eggs for breakfast and you need just like something else, you know,
Just to have that in
just
there.
like one or two maybe waffles. But my golly, were we surprised when we were like, wow, this
What
not
is
we
this?
expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, were the images like over? No, like, were they like blown up to make it seem like did one of you not read the description size or something?
I can't say because I certainly didn't read the description size because
Maybe you both got really excited and was just like,
Kayla's in charge of the Amazon account. I don't even have an Amazon
it's just
account.
more like you come home and it's just like, babe, look what I got. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's basically in charge of beautifying
Appliances.
and improving the living space, right? Like,
What are we talking about?
so Kayla's like Kayla's got all of that covered. Where like she helps me out with rent, but like her other expenses really no, that's not true. She also pays for like our laundry and our she does a lot. She does a lot. You know, our chewy our chewy expenses, right, for the cats and like, you know, our
I'm surrounded by too many cat clubs. Fuck. Sorry.
Right?
I need one.
She has like a whole bunch of little expenses on top of like a pretty sizable amount of rent that she pays, contributes to the overall rent.
Reggie,
But
what
then-
did you fucking ask? What led to this death trap?
We were talking
for John?
about my waffle.
Yeah, and I was just joking,
Okay,
saying like
yeah.
we're gonna go to John's house. He's gonna give us some waffles, and then
Oh, okay,
yeah,
the cum
Right.
cakes.
We're still on the
You
cum
wanted
cakes.
cum
Yeah.
cakes. Okay,
So she's taken it upon herself to put herself in charge of making our apartment
yes.
swag, right? Like
Beautify it.
Beautify it,
Kyla,
make it more
feel
utility.
free to buy all of my fantastic artwork that you were there for the creation of. You know, it might just feel like a special thing.
We
You
should,
get a friends and
we
family
should get
discount.
some of your guys' artwork going because we have mostly hers, which I'm a big fan of because it's
Yeah,
like
me too,
fucking
but
rad. I know you got one right there.
Too much of the same thing is a little boring, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you get some. Kayla's houses are up there, and then up top, Jackie's. Like I had all of these just in like a sketchbook.
Yeah.
Like just folded up to keep them safe. And I was redoing my room, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally put these up. These are all on top of existing prints that I had in these frames already. So like, if you look at this one, where the most noticeable is
Oh,
Jackie's,
shit.
you could see the text.
Yeah,
from
I didn't realize that.
From the
I can see it
Civil War, Marvel Civil War comic
that's
book.
I didn't
have
realize
a print from the
till
artist
just
and the
now.
anchor on that.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
so yeah.
But yeah, so like she, if it wasn't for her, I would be living in what it looks like still a brand new apartment, right? Like,
just
it
a
wouldn't
bed.
feel lived in at all because
Not even broken in, just a
everything
bed
that's
and
hung
like
on the walls is her idea, right?
Not for nothing. Everything needs a woman's touch.
100%.
I'm sorry. It's just,
100%.
when Yentl and I lived together, we had an apartment in Bensonhurst. She made that apartment beautiful. It was a place that you were like, okay, this feels like a home.
Exactly.
As opposed, if it was up to me,
A man cave.
it would feel like a
giant-
shithole.
a giant man cave.
Yeah, like someone that like breathes real hard, like and does things like. Like, you know, like I have like fucking anime figures all over and toys and like models that I paint and like
These are swag though, dude. I like them a lot.
yeah, exactly. But that's why they shouldn't be up because you like them and he likes them. And that's why you need the woman's touch. Jens and I are gonna move back in together. Probably
She's gonna be like,
next
you're
summer.
limited to 5.
Oh yeah.
You gotta put those in a box.
I'm gonna have my studio space and whatever can't fit.
It's going in there.
Go in the fucking living room, Yentl, and that's what's happening. But no, it's not. It's not. It's just. But that's how it goes. I'm sorry. Like
I have a lot of relics from my bachelor life though, like
that's good.
sprinkled within our apartment.
Yeah.
So I still have like, I mean, you saw my fucking game collection is like,
We got like a treasure chest.
Yeah, it was
of,
legendary.
it's
God damn.
I was there when they were like the first day. Kayla's like putting all the games in the shelf, and then she's like, I don't know what order, and then he's just like, yeah, I'll fix it later.
Yeah. It's by release date. So.
Oh shit! By release date?
Yeah, that's the arguably the best way to
That's
go,
fire.
right?
Whoa.
We worked at GameStop.
Whoa! Yeah, we
spent
do it
some
by
time-
alphabetical, but
We had spent
release
some
date.
time-
Alphabetical gets weird though because then sometimes you get sequels that are
Yeah.
titled in a weird
Yeah.
way where they come before.
Because
and
like,
it's
for
that doesn't
example,
make any
Halo, like
fucking
Halo
sense.
Infinite.
Halo Reach.
Yeah.
Right. Listen,
Right.
with my DVD collection, which is in this little thing, like I my physical games are
Yeah. My physical game collection is
impressive.
diminishing.
It's
at this point,
but
though.
it's impressive. Yours is like it's a library.
I-
Okay,
it's-
he has the same amount of physical games as we have in
Combined?
our digital library.
That's pretty.
Now,
That's really good.
Mine is this one shelf because I abandoned buying games and let Reggie buy them, and we share accounts, so he pays for them.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean,
yeah, Daddy pays for them. So, but the small amount of Blu-rays that I have all 3 of the Dark Knight trilogy, which
Amazing.
is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. So there's an issue there because Batman Begins doesn't fit in the
Exactly.
fucking thing. Now what do I do?
that shit drives me fucking up the wall. Like I can't even rationalize in my head how
you think
bonkers
Kayla's still
that
watching,
is.
or she was like, "Wow,
At this
like
point-
that was a great compliment," and then she's like,
I'm done.
5
I'm
minutes
out.
into
Great
the
highlight.
podcast, Kayla
I was still wondering
has
there.
been listening, but also sketching on her iPad. This is
hardworking.
This is in the background,
"Yeah,
1000%.
Kyla,
Which, you know,
remember when you made Jess cry?" What? Yes. So there's an OCD about collecting. My collection thing is this. I've gotten a little crazy about this. You guys haven't watched JoJo yet, but the one the kind of gay looking ones. The in the back over here where
The
they're
very
like
flamboyant,
clothes and
the
shit.
flamboyant looking
I bought
Vogue.
those. All right, so the 3 ones that are in the row where they're like their arms are out, like to the left of Kakashi.
I can probably name what all of the anime series are for each figure,
That's beautiful.
but I can't say that I've watched.
That's okay.
all of them.
But those figures, I spent €250 in one stop in Italy. Like it was like my biggest purchase in Italy, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even some like souvenir
Something
shit.
Italian.
It was Japanese shit made in China. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. My girlfriend's like, okay, like you want to go to Capri? I'm buying these fucking figures. Like, it's like I'll pay for both of them.
Yeah.
And now I'm poor. That's what happened.
But fuck it, right? They're awesome.
Yeah, they're
So-
awesome. It's fun. And then second is the model. You see these up here, the models.
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother thing because those models.
You can
are
make a
part of
world
that-
out of
are
those.
Part of the book series up here. It's all the same shit.
Okay.
Is it a manga or is it?
No. They're novels.
Okay, cool.
I'm balls deep in those. Like I've read every single one of those except for the two up top. Oh no, the one at the end and the one up top. So
Scars one.
Yeah, I fly through them. And I keep fucking buying.
You definitely
There's like
progressed.
$200 on that shelf right there just from books.
Yeah.
What the fuck? They're $10 a pop.
Yeah.
It's 20 up, 20
And
something
you
up.
had at least over maybe close to
How much money do
G.
I have coming in though? Zero. It's nonsense.
But you'll make all that back because
They're investments.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
These things only
definitely
go up.
investments.
Yeah, they go up.
They
in
actually
value.
do. Some
Yeah.
of them they do.
And because they don't make these anymore, that's why we started buying them anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Like once they make them, they're not making them
The
anymore.
biggest mistake that I made was that like when I bought all these physical copies of games that I own, I didn't buy collector's editions.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
just-
the
I just
collector's
have
editions are the
tons of games, right? Like,
Yeah.
that I haven't played.
Yeah, we used to go hard for the like the steel book covers and shit like that.
I have steel book because we used to work at GameStop.
Yeah.
I have in my the closet out there. I have a steel book cover for Assassin's Creed 3. I never
Ooh.
bought that game. Someone traded in Assassin's Creed 3 in the steel book, and I just took it.
Yeah, word.
And then I just put it in the envelope, and,
And
then they
put
could
a
print it.
plastic-
Yeah, they
yeah.
had the fake case. You know, like you go to GameStop.
The bootleg
shitty
DVD
ones?
case, yeah.
That's all the people that stole the game cases.
Yeah.
You know.
They're going way the fuck out of business.
They are,
They
but
are dead.
this was something I wanted to bring up to you, or maybe you might be interested as well. But I saw an article, or IGN reported it, or whatever.
It's like I did some research.
Nah, it was on like the fucking IGN now shit. But they were saying that they wanted to get back to their roots or whatever, because you know how like they
they're
started
getting
doing
into
like
toys. They're
well,
getting.
besides that, like they're thinking about hosting local tournaments
They're getting
for
into
games.
e-gaming.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
which
They're
I
getting
think
into
would be
e-gaming.
great.
Yo,
Because
they can
the only
survive off of
yeah,
that.
because what
They
I
gotta, they gotta do something.
because
right?
what I
Like,
remember, or at least like the two times that we went to, it was the Gears of War 3 event
Yeah.
and the Marvel event.
Yeah.
Those are really good, and they
Marvel
only have
event?
them. They only have those on 14th Street and Union Square.
Yeah.
Well, they have. So we worked at the GameStop on.
Oh, no, they have them at
34th
ours,
Street,
but-
Herald Square, which
Yeah.
is the flagship of the
Yeah, I mean,
entire
that's
the
huge.
entire
Which
corporation.
is weird.
So we used to have the midnight releases. They were really poorly done. Like we had, it was like I think it was Madden 17, and it was like tournament. This is you weren't there. Reggie used to show up to shifts 2 hours late, and they would like not put him on the schedule. I became a manager, and like
I was there first, by the way.
yeah, he got me the job. He got me the job. And
I wasn't mad. I was just like, fuck it.
I'm moving on.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, so we're doing Madden, whatever. It's an overnight thing, and
Definitely wasn't
this
17.
guy George, who worked for Microsoft, that did all the Xbox consoles. He didn't come by to shut off the restart on this game.
The
thing.
chaos?
Like
the
the
kiosk
trial?
Yeah. Because we put a restart because
Oh my-
homeless people would just come
Right,
in
of course,
and
yeah.
just play games all day.
Right.
And it's like, yo, get these stinky motherfuckers out of here.
Yeah.
But so we had to put the restart, and it would restart, and I would be working the Xbox counter, and they would just look at me like I pressed a secret button. I'm like, fuck you think this is? Like, I don't have a button to this shit. Like,
Yeah.
we want you out. All right, anyway. And so we're playing, and like we're texting him and calling him, and this guy, I was working with this guy Charles that Reggie hated, and he's not answering. So we're like, yo, like we got to do this tournament on this one Xbox that we have the projector connected to. Then we had 6 Xboxes that would run for about 5 minutes. So we're like, all right. At the end of the 5 minutes, whoever had the first highest score wins.
Right.
And yo, people were not fucking happy, like, because they could just hold the ball,
Yeah.
and then, like, just do like, and
Yeah.
like, yo, people were tight.
Yeah, of course.
And they were just like, yo, this is bullshit. I'm like, yeah, but you gonna get your game and get out.
Right,
That's it.
We're just trying to sell you the game.
Yeah.
Please go
Yeah.
home now. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry you thought this was E3, but it's
Right.
34th Street. Like,
Right.
this is trash, bro.
GameSpot is in a weird predicament where
They
like
are.
they can't convert themselves into like so like Kyla and I went to Portland, Oregon some years ago to visit a friend that moved out there, and he brought us to like a barcade style type place where they were playing Dragon Ball Fighters like right when it came out, and it was like tournament style. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is fucking rad, dude. This is so awesome.
I
you know?
miss shit like that, or
Yeah.
just having or being in like a regular. Goddamn, Chloe's busting out the fight stick.
All about the
I
fight.
got a
let's
fight
go.
stick as well, but
That's
goddamn,
awesome.
shit.
An empty bottle of
Uh,
wine.
I was just gonna say, like, I miss having those like general, like, you go to a fucking game place or whatever, and there's just people there or whatever, and you go in and out. Continue.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like GameStop is not equipped for all of their fucking locations to become
to
that,
do that,
right?
yeah. Like some of them are literally a closet.
Yeah,
some of them are literally a closet.
Yeah, so like, how are you gonna
that.
host like a competition of
Street Fighter
however
or whatever?
many people are gonna sign up, like 40, 50 people sometimes, when your outfit is like the size of like a small bedroom. It's like
what they could do is move all of the interior, not the ones on the walls, obviously,
The
but
shit in the middle of the floor.
all, like the things that take up the middle,
the
which
bins.
are pretty much just
It's the PS2, GameCube,
all that
those
shit.
Yeah,
They're carts,
but they don't have enough space in the back.
No, I'm saying put them outside because they're just cases of empty. Like they're
Oh,
empty
that's
cases.
true. Yeah.
my thing is with that though is that like most GameStops actually have already done that at this point because they realize that their game sales have plummeted, right?
Yeah.
Because most people just buy
digital
straight from the
since
console.
this new generation.
digital.
Yeah.
We were talking about that when we worked together.
And
Just like, yo, this shit is going digital. Like nobody gives a
Of
fuck
course.
about having CDs.
Of course, right? And so they've pivoted their store stock to be game related things, right? Like T-shirts, and
toys,
and
T-shirts,
bobbleheads, and
toys.
Like,
They do have some
Keychains.
figures. They have like figures
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
They-
But they're like
it's
double
mostly
the price
those.
almost.
What are those really ugly ones? The pop ones.
I
Funko Pop.
Yeah.
That shit is trash.
Ugh.
If I'm in an
think it's
Instagram
lazy.
group with you and you share that shit, kill yourself.
Yeah,
That shit
right?
is ugly and trash. Like these are beautiful hand sculpted. Those are ugly.
Just a
fucking,
wide
like,
head, some
that's
black eyes.
bullshit with some wide eyes. Some
Some weak ass shit.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's
So
ugly.
that's what most of GameStop's like storefront retail space consists of, right?
Yeah.
So like you have all this shit that you're hoping people will buy because they're game enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And then then you also now are gonna try to like have an arcade setting where like you host tournaments. Is like I don't know.
I think it's too late, maybe.
Yeah.
But I did like the idea when I saw it. I was like, because remember that shit we went to in Brooklyn, like.
Oh, next.
Because I was
All
like,
right.
all right, that's cool to have or go to, but it's like nobody wants to go to Brooklyn or like F train
I don't know if
status
it's
or
still
whatever.
around.
Probably
but
not. Probably not.
It was a place for game like mostly fighting game people to compete.
But they also
on.
streamed like on YouTube and shit, like
Yeah, cool.
frequently.
This
Like
is where like local like high level competitors would go and practice like Fizzy Chris or whatever the fuck their name is. With the long
Chris
hair.
G, Chris
Yeah,
G.
with the fucking bitch.
Yeah.
People like that would go and compete. We went there. I needed to get my fight stick repaired because the wire was fucked up. So we went.
Oh.
We were playing like.
This
we
when,
sat down. This was Marvel 3. This is Marvel 3. I got my ass whooped.
Yeah.
Not you. What you did? I did.
won a couple, but
I got whacked.
Reggie got watched.
What?
Yeah.
You know how like when you're at an arcade or whatever, somebody you playing and somebody puts the quarters up because that means they're next or whatever.
Right.
Yo, I lost. Dude was like, yo, he just took my seat and he was like, yeah, you're not getting his back. I was just like, and he played Kobe. He played Kobe. I touched Kobe's shoulder. I was like, yo, you better win. Like,
Yeah,
so I was like,
right.
so I get my seat back, and he's just like going
All
back and
we
forth.
went to the midnight event. The
For Marvel?
for Marvel
Yeah.
at GameStop in Union Square.
Yeah. For 3?
For 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
okay,
the
cool.
biggest one, I think.
Yeah.
Guess who was reigning champ of that whole shit undefeated? Your boy right here.
No way, really?
Wow.
And
That was a
we-
cool ass
we
event.
only played it because Reggie had it down. Like, what'd you have? He bought it at a Habibi shop.
Yeah, I bought it at Habib's
He
the
bought it
day
at
before,
Habib.
2
He
days
had it.
before.
So
I
we
called
were
him. I was
playing.
like, yo,
Yeah.
I got this shit.
So
He's
I already
like,
have my squad. I'm in GameStop.
it's like Wesker and
Fuck
somebody else.
Everybody.
Yeah,
It was
just
Wesker,
murdering
Wolverine,
fools.
and Akuma.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
was laying pipe. Son, like I was
Yeah,
fucking
right.
everybody's mother. Like it was over. It was over.
I remember dudes were tight because they're holding the controller and you're just like, and the dudes are just like,
All you hear is.
yeah.
I mean, I was using a controller, but
Yeah.
it was just.
Just doing the cheap ass
Yeah,
shit
oh,
that
I
nobody's
was-
figured out. counters.
Nobody
Yeah.
knew
Yeah, yeah.
anything yet, and I was just like X Factor Wesker. You're
Yeah.
dead. Like,
Yeah.
I was holding it down.
Oh,
so
it's
I'm
amazing.
like, I'm nice. I'm nice. We go to the next level. those are the people that had the early shit. The
Those
gamers.
are dudes that like
they
fucking
laughed at me.
infinite float with Magneto and do shit with like Dr. Doom. I'm like, I'm like, I'm walking out. I'm walking out. I do base level shit and I'm done. That's it.
I joined the anime club at Stony Brook when I was an undergraduate there because I was like,
I would do that.
cool. They talk about anime and they like play lots of video games. That sounds like something I'd be into. And I was a commuter, so like I didn't have any connection to anybody. Really,
I hate girls.
Yeah, I fucking hate girls. So exactly right. So I like joined this thing and they meet in the basement of the student activities center. Right? Like
the basement.
Oh my god!
Not a lobby, a basement.
So they had like tons of GameCube set up with Super Smash Melee, and I'm like, oh tight! I fucking love Smash Brothers, right? Little did I know, I'm playing against like the fucking third ranked Marth in like in the world, right? And this guy was wiping the floor with me, and I'm like, what a fucking turd, bro! Like, how much do you play? Are you kidding me?
He was playing
Get the
Nepal
fuck
Cow
outta
from
here.
China.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is making me hate
Yo, it's
this
discouraging, son. That shit sucks.
Now this is what athletes, the cool kids, have always gone through. They're like, I'm gonna be LeBron, and then they get to the next level. Like, you are garbage.
They get bodied by like I don't know, Tony Snell or something.
And oddly enough, Super Smash Bros. Melee is still relevant today.
It's the best one.
It's still relevant.
I forgot Evo. Oh, I told you Evo happened like I don't know, like a few weeks ago. I forgot that shit was even going through, but yeah, I enjoy that shit. I like watching it.
The game came out in 2001.
Yeah,
Melee. Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
dude, it's still
In tournaments now.
If you
Like,
want the
still
physical
Evo.
copy, if you go
Oh,
to
the
like
price?
one of these stores, they're charging you $100.
Yeah.
Marvel 2 was like that forever. Like I remember when I first started GameStop. This was in like 2012, right? 2012, like 2 years after high
2012,
school.
yeah.
We still had a PS2 rack, and I'm looking at it, and I found a Marvel 2 case with the original case, original cover, all this shit. I'm like, ooh, like I
Like
might
good
want to buy it.
condition?
Yeah, perfect. I
Oh,
didn't see
yeah.
this was early. Like this was like before I was anything. Like I was just like a grunt. This is when Joe's bitch ass still worked there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this fat Indian guy.
I'm a
He was
wrestler.
cunt. Yeah, he was trash. He was piping this ginger girl, who he ended up getting pregnant while he was like in a relationship.
TMI, I
It's
forgot about
disgusting.
that.
I don't give a fuck.
I forgot about that.
GameStop bammers. I don't give a fuck. So I found this. I was like, damn, this is a gem. And I just hid it. I just put it in the back. I was like, ain't nobody finding this. And I forgot about it. But that shit was still $50. It was a PS2 game in 2012. This was like 4 years after the next gen came out. Like, and I was like, my mind was blown that this PS2, this archaic bullshit. But then the DLC version came out and the prices went down.
Right.
But then we were talking about how at Enza's, shout out to Enza and Delicato. Enza, Taste of Sicily. That these motherfuckers can pull these digital games at any time.
Which they did because we
Which they
found
did
out.
with Marvel.
Yeah.
Right? We each paid $15 for Marvel 2, and now it's not available anymore.
It's not at all.
So
yeah.
you paid for
and that
the
was
game that you
right
thought you
probably
owned.
maybe the first year like the discussion of like Disney was buying Marvel, even though that probably maybe had something to do with it, but it was just like
it got
gone.
lost in the ether. It was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all these digital games, it's like we're not owning them. We're just buying to lease.
We lease
Yeah.
the rights to play them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I still try
That's
to buy.
kind of how it's always been with music and all that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't own the music.
True.
You
Yeah.
own the physical copy of this leased music that you bought from a record store.
I think
but I think the difference there though is like a song costs $1. Right?
True.
A game
Yeah,
costs
$60,
$60.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
like if you lose
and you have to try to value that
game,
$60. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of
sure.
fucked, right? And like, I do think that there's something to be said about how if you lose access to a game because of circumstances beyond your control, like you're really just out of money, right?
Yeah.
Like,
issued a refund.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have been stolen from. You have been stolen from.
Straight up.
That's
Well, that's why
like
it's-
someone coming in your house and taking your PS2. That's what they're doing. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
they snuck into their house and took your PS2.
But that's what I
and
think.
took a shit in your sink. That's it. That's it.
I think Steam. I could be wrong, but I
Can I
think
get a Blue Point?
I think Steam does
That-
some refunds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Steam does some. I
Not
think
for
that's
nothing. That thing you're holding right there, John, that Heineken bottle opener, that has served me a long time.
Yeah?
If this was like an RPG, that would be like the level 99 sword. But that, as a bartender, that's what I had for a long time. Like
Alright.
it was wrapped up in rubber bands for grip for some reason. Like I don't know why I did that because I was bored.
I see.
But they melted.
Yeah, I
They
see the
fucking
rubber
melted,
band
and I had
trail.
to cover it in Goo Gone. I did it recently. Like I
damn.
took it out of this box that I have under here, and it was just wet. I was like, "Yo, fuck rubber bands."
It's funny. It's funny how bottle openers like have some longevity, right? Like I have this
Oh, shit.
weird bottle opener on my keychain.
I got one like that, but it says Alma
from
Gang.
my buddy
I have
that
an
lives
Alma
up
Gang
in
one.
Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
It says Sebago on it, which is like a place in Maine that I've never been to.
Okay.
But he gave it to me, and I've literally had it for
So it's magical.
15 years now.
You put the magic into it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like, you ever
that
watch-
piece fell off, so now it's
That's all
literally
right.
just,
You ever
know,
watch the
just a
show
regular,
American
yeah.
Gods?
I've not watched the
Oh,
show.
I
I
forgot about
read
that show.
the first half of the book.
Okay, so
Oh, I
you
didn't
know all the
know
way through.
that in American Gods, the gods are not created just like they are created by people. So the worship creates the gods.
Okay.
All right, and so the gods, they are fueled by worship, and people create the gods. So it's not we are created in God's image. The gods are created in our image. Now, does that mean John's keychain is a god?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
In
is.
some respects, yes. The one
Fuck
thing
yeah.
that I remember from American Gods is, and I don't remember the god's name, but the guy that
Odin.
maybe Odin that drinks mead all the
Odin!
time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mead? The
And that was the first
father
time.
of Thor.
Yeah,
Odin.
that was the first time that I ever really understood what mead is as like a honey based.
It's a honey wine.
Yeah.
Oh,
wine.
damn.
Yeah.
And I just had a little dude named Odin in my last week's camp.
Oh, whoa.
At-
His
at-
parents
yeah,
must be
yeah.
pussies.
And I couldn't help but think that. And he was
His dad's a fag. He's
class-
a weak ass bitch that was like, I'm gonna name my son Odin.
The class is called Coding Quakes,
Mm-hmm.
where we teach the kids how to program in Python, which is like a programming language, to model.
I'm gonna nod my head and act like I know what that is, but I don't know what that is.
Well,
it's-
it's either not for understand or
It's like you know what HTML is, right?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
C++ is?
yes.
Yeah, CSS.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Right.
I don't know. C++ was in the next class that I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
take.
yeah. CSS is like cascading style sheets, right?
Yes.
That's like, okay,
yes,
that's,
that's exactly what it is.
that's
yeah.
like
Wow.
a module of HTML.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So HTML is a programming language. You use it to make websites.
Mm-hmm.
There are other programming language that you do for other things,
Yeah.
like C++
Yeah.
is kind of universal in some respects.
to nerds.
And Python is specifically for like number crunching and visualizing scientific data, right?
Yeah, every skill that I wish I had while I was applying to jobs, because they're all like, hey, well,
Yeah.
you're a visual designer. We need you to draw shit. We need you to animate shit. And we need you to design our entire fucking website.
Exactly.
Hey, Glassdoor, suck my dick.
Knowing how to use Python is analogous to knowing how to use Photoshop, right? It's
Okay.
software that you know how to
Yeah.
manipulate so that you can
Except
do-
you're a bitch.
Right. Yeah.
Except you're a bitch.
I don't fucking know shit about
Yeah,
Python.
but
I really don't.
But anybody that does is
but
bitch.
but they asked me to teach this class, and I'm like, okay, well, I know something about it, and I know a little bit about earth science, I guess. So the class is like, we teach these coding concepts to middle school kids so that they can plot earthquake data on a map.
That's
But
cool.
that's like the end goal of the
Shit.
class. And so the whole, I don't know where I was going with this actually, but what are we going back to? Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. No, I'm sorry. I
I
ruined
hate
it.
when this happens.
It was nothing with games, right?
Cum cake.
Nah, that was too far back. That was too far back. It was nothing with games, right? Or it
Games,
games.
HTML, Photoshop, job hunting.
was a little before it HTML.
I'm just naming the
Wait,
things I was
job
talking
hunting.
about.
Hold on. We're on to something.
Kayla.
Help! Text me, help!
Kyla.
Help!
All right, games, science, teaching, rocks.
You're going way too far
Odin!
back.
Oh my god!
I had
honey
a
wine.
kid in my class last week,
Odin!
named Odin, and he was
Whose parents are
in
pussy.
6th or 7th grade, but he was fucking internet troll embodied. He
Oh,
was this
really?
little guy.
Oh, his name's Odin. He's the most powerful
shit.
fucker on the internet.
He was so funny to me, right? Like, I couldn't laugh about it out loud because he's just a
Yeah,
little
the other
kid. Like,
kids
I
feel
can't
like shit.
take it out on him. But, like, he was so dorky and, like, funny. He would just be like, we'd be out on the terrace eating lunch because, like, I gotta go outside at some point during the
Yeah.
day. I can't fucking sit with
no
a class full of
windows,
middle
yeah.
schoolers from 9 to 4, you know, just chilling. So we go outside for lunch, and we would be out on the terrace, and Odin would walk up to me about halfway through and be like, hey, excuse me, can we go back inside and play video games on the computers? And I'm like, yeah, dude, we could do that in a little bit. Just give me a
Fucking
bit. Just
nerd.
give me a
Yeah.
second.
Let me finish my beer.
It was so classic. I'm like,
Hey, you ever play Marvel vs. Capcom 3? Like, you just pull me out.
You're fucking signed up for science camp at the museum.
listen,
I love it. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. And they're just playing.
Odin.
Do you know what Shell Shockers is?
No.
Okay,
That's-
it's an
sounds familiar.
FPS where you play as an egg, and it's basically Halo, but
Okay.
you play as
But
an
you're
egg
an egg.
with a assault rifle, and you're like fucking.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
all right.
You like
all
walk
right.
around
You're
this
an egg with
map.
a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and the kids always. I don't know how every fucking middle school kid knows about this game, but every computer class that we teach, all the kids they
just
want to do.
they download it?
They want to play Shell Shockers.
fuck?
It's like one of those like.
That's today's
it's,
Quake.
It's not
Dude, yeah.
this, but it's like a Newgrounds
Oh,
type
shit.
game,
Yeah,
right? Where
yeah,
you just
okay.
sign on to
Yes.
it, and you're
There
in.
is hentai on the
And-
same
yeah.
website that you can download this
And
game
they,
from.
and they write up on the board. They'll like steal my fucking dry erase marker and write up the server name on the board.
What the
everybody
fuck?
gets
That's
in.
so fire.
Wow.
It's rad. It's awesome.
Next time you
Wow.
should just have one written up.
Yeah.
It'd be like John the Gods, the server.
They always ask me to play with them, but I always have shit to do like during the lunch break. But I'm like,
that. Wait, what are you doing during your
wreck
lunch
you
break?
guys.
What are you doing in your lunch break?
usually I'm just like setting up the activities for the
Next thing?
afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so
That's
fuck
fair.
that.
Yeah, I know.
on the fly.
Yeah.
On the fly.
But I'm constantly surprised by the fact that, all right, growing up, I was like, I never planned to be a teacher, but I was always like, if I was a teacher, because you're in school forever, right?
make it
The coolest
I was like,
fucking experience of all time.
I fucking know about video games. I'm not a fucking dork. I love all this shit, right? And still, there is this disconnect between me and the kids that I have in my class because I don't play the same
Oh, yeah.
types of games that they do,
Because
right?
they probably all love Fortnite.
They
and
love
you don't.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
They love Minecraft. And like I don't have anything against Minecraft or Fortnite, but like I just don't personally play them. So I am like an ancient
Already,
person
yeah.
to them, right?
Because you could be like
they're
Halo. They're like, huh?
yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite game? I'm like,
BR.
oh, The Legend of Zelda, and they're like,
That shit was old when we were kids.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
oh,
true.
you guys never played Breath of the Wild? It's like the best game I ever fucking made, and they're like, no, we hate that shit.
Oh, that's mad funny. Me
my
too.
Bad, my bad.
Oh my god.
Me too.
That's mad.
Sorry, bro.
I don't know so much. I'm like, what the fuck? All his. I'm just like, what the fuck? Nah, that's mad funny.
We're gonna put this in the outtakes.
Oh man.
Can you pour beer on me? Is that,
No. Don't worry about that.
No.
Don't worry about that. He said, "Keep pour beer on me." I'm just pour it on his hat.
That's like when you hit somebody and they're like,
Hit me back.
"Yo,
hit me back.
hit me back. Don't tell them."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna edit this part out.
No, that's fine. I've worn his shirt like 5 times. Oh my god.
That's not a lie.
That was funny. It's fucking.
Shit.
Oh man. All right. So, yeah, you want to be the coolest kid, dude? I was
The
looking
coolest teacher, yeah.
coolest kid. I was like, I wish I was the coolest.
I live my life through them.
Was looking into becoming an art teacher. Now, I like my dream. What to do it if I was going to do it was teach art and design. I was under the assumption that you could do one of these sped up the state
Acceleration
offers these accelerated
programs.
programs to become a teacher. Little did I know is they don't give a fuck about art.
They've been left art alone since like 2006.
They're like,
Ben got rid of that shit.
Listen, we need
We
need special ed teachers in the Bronx. I'm like, I ain't about that. Right? I'm not trying to teach.
They want you to sign up for that shit.
hard.
I don't want to teach no retarded kid
Shit.
from the Bronx. Are you crazy?
Hey, Ben gave up on that, dogs. Like,
Dude, I had been arguing with
that's where all the money was
with
at.
Jess. I'm like, hey Jess, like she's like, no, my boyfriend did research, and I was like, your boyfriend doesn't know anything. Elijah, I love you, but I had zero faith in your knowledge of the Board of Ed, and I was taking what Rick was saying to heart, and he was obviously uninformed. So I found out this weekend that you need to go to school and get a master's in art education, and I was like, you don't know.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do with that after you get it?
I was so upset because I was like, wait, what? Like, I could definitely teach better than half of these motherfuckers that are in design.
Here's the thing, right? Like, you can probably find some organization that doesn't require that, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I did, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a master's in
But
teaching.
do they give you the benefits and the pension that the Department of Ed
Does not.
provides?
Yeah.
By and large, yes, right? Like, I still
Norma, what's up, bitch?
Yeah, I still get full benefits. I still pay into a pension.
Yes.
I get all of that 401k, all that nonsense, right? I don't think that I have the same base salary as a certified teacher in a school district, but that's okay because I don't do the same number of teaching hours as a traditional teacher, right? Like, so the summers,
And the method too of like how you're teaching it too.
yeah, it's way different.
Because you're a little more like not freelance, but you're giving a lot more room to breathe and
Free
to do
form, not
yeah.
freelance.
Right.
It's
Sorry.
free form.
Yeah, that's why I said not freelance, but thank you. But
Yeah,
if you were a traditional teacher, it would just be like,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
if you were a
you're
teacher,
right,
you'd
right.
just be like, I gotta do A, B, and C.
Yeah,
this is not the way I want to do it.
If I'm a Regents Earth Science teacher in the Department of Education, like, I need to make sure the kids pass the Regents.
Yeah,
that's what I'm teaching towards.
I'm gonna
you
do
know?
push-ups, but I gotta make sure you know something.
Yeah. For me, it's like, no, I think that I should probably steer away from what you guys are going to cover in the Earth Science Regents because you're going to see that at some point. Like,
Yeah.
definitely. What I'd rather focus on is, like, what kinds of research are the researchers in the Earth and Planetary Science Department, you know, at AM&H, what are they doing?
Yeah,
that I can be like, yo,
you're a like they're like science and research is going towards you,
Yeah.
which is going directly towards these students, and then these teachers who did a teacher's education program or whatever
Exactly.
100 years ago, who have not been doing the research, who are tired of little kids calling them fucking faggots and all that stuff. They're like, I'm not doing this research, and I might not be up to date.
what I am a liaison for the people that do actual science through the organization of the Smithsonian, right? Like, I am
Those
there.
are credentials right there, ladies
I
and
am,
gentlemen.
I am there.
You told us we weren't legit, and we're legit.
I'm their translation to the younger generation, right?
Yes,
like, they
pretty much.
don't. They are, of course, like, focused on making sure that their science is accurate, and like that takes a lot of dedication, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, to be able to do that and be able to teach is like, that's like having two separate skill sets, and like some people have that, and kudos to you, right? But like, not everybody that's a scientist is also good at talking about science. right?
So, probably 90% of the science teachers in America are horrible at talking because they're little nerds. Like, they're little,
Yeah.
So what I do is, like,
science.
I take their research findings and I try to make them interesting and
Just
palatable,
relatable.
right?
Yeah,
like,
you're
to-
in
to,
a
like, the
place
general
where
public.
you know about the science, but you can also talk like a human being,
Right.
And as opposed to these
Right.
fucking robot
This is why
idiots.
this is cool because right. Oh, I never finished the story about the Earth
Odin?
meteorite. And
Oh,
Odin.
shit.
Oh, shit.
Well, wait. I definitely want to hear the meteorite one.
So the most fascinating thing about the Earth meteorite being found on the moon is that because it was found on the moon, there's no erosional properties on the moon's surface,
Ooh,
right?
there's no water, there's no air hitting it. Yeah.
Exactly. So like Earth rocks over time get totally
Just
changed,
destroyed,
right?
yeah.
Like because there's wind and
Yeah.
there's water.
It's like the obelisk in Central Park. You know, there's an Egyptian
Yes.
tower in Central
Park?
Park. Yeah. If you go on the loop by the reservoir, like on
It's by the
in
Met.
the mid 80s, yeah.
Okay.
There's an Egyptian obelisk. But that shit gets buffeted by thunderstorms and blizzards, and then it goes to fucking heat. Like just today, I'm sure did a number on it because it was hot as balls.
Yeah.
And then it just started pouring on it.
The acidity
So
of the
that
rain
thing is
here in
getting-
the
that
New York
thing-
City
yeah, hot.
setting,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's
There's
way different than it was.
There's
yeah.
brake dust and fucking like fumes hitting it, and they're just destroying this thing. Like that thing needs to be moved into the Met. Like
Yeah.
build a replica because they did the same shit. Okay, everyone that listens to this, the three people, but they know I just got back from Italy. So the Gates of Paradise, which are these two doors by Brunelleschi, they're like gilded doors, and they have like a bunch of panels, and they're like fucking whatever. They're beautiful. And for a long time, they put up they were on the Duomo. I'm pretty sure they were on the Duomo, and they took them off the Duomo to restore them, and they put up replicas. And I think Cam said that nobody knew they were replicas.
Okay.
Put up some fucking replicas, because anybody that says we don't want you taking it down, they can shut the fuck up because this thing is old and you're not. Like this
Yeah.
thing will supersede your grandchildren.
Yeah.
And they'll be dead when this thing is still around because it was in the Met.
Right.
Like fuck off, put it in a temperature
Preserve,
controlled room.
preserve,
Like, what
right?
the fuck?
Yeah.
Right, what are you
Right.
doing? Like this is nonsense.
So the fascinating part about like finding this meteorite on the moon and bringing it back to Earth is that like we actually get to learn about the conditions of the Earth from a
Fucking
period of
billion
time
years ago.
that we can't really study otherwise, right? Because the rocks here on Earth are not. They don't resemble the rocks that once existed
Real quick.
at that time period.
Scenario. They crack open the meteor. There is a fossil of a mosquito.
In there. Yeah.
And then they take it to an island, and they clone it, and they make dinosaurs.
Question is,
What happens?
we didn't ask whether or not we could. We just failed to
No.
answer the question
Do
whether
we?
or not we should.
Do we?
Right, yeah.
Do we? Because we can. Do we?
Yeah.
And do we send Jeff Goldblum? And that's it.
We have to at that point, right?
That's it.
But the conclusion of this like whole research article is that like actually when we eventually set up a permanent living space on the moon, which we will, right? Like we are going to eventually establish a moon base. That's something that NASA has actually recently said like we are doing.
Who does it?
I
Is it a united Earth front?
I think the United States does it first.
Because
we
have our flag on there. Fuck Russia. Fuck China.
Yeah.
We're just like, yo, hold this dick.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to spray tan that bitch. And just like, yo, what's up?
I think that it will
That makes
eventually,
sense.
it will very quickly become a collaborative effort after America establishes control there, right? Like
That's fire.
I think
Space
so.
Wars.
I really do think
Space
so.
Wars. Trump he was like, yo, we're going to do Space Wars.
Yeah.
We got Space Defense Program.
We're
I'm
not-
all about that.
We're not gonna lose that fight.
You're goddamn
There's
right.
no way. There's
Because-
no way.
Goddamn,
Right?
yo, I used to have this beautiful American flag hanging here, and then in my sleep, I ripped it. It was up.
I think that's a felony.
Yeah. It's still behind my bed. I was just like, it was beautiful. But America. There's a bandana right behind you. Look, it's hanging
Hell
on my
yeah.
doorknob.
Oh, yeah.
You see it. America, we got
I think
the moon.
I think that we get there. I think
We
that we
got the
set up
moon.
shop, and I think that what's interesting is we can actually study more about Earth's geological history from these well-preserved meteorite rocks on the moon than we can from analyzing rocks on Earth.
Do we have it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
NASA
yeah.
has it.
Yeah, we have it.
America has it. You commie fucks. Goddamn right. It's beautiful.
It's really fascinating because right now we are at a time where private entities are just as formidable in the space race as NASA is.
SpaceX.
So so SpaceX being probably the most publicized one, but like Blue Origin and so many other privatized companies are assisting NASA. I love this. It's like the end of an episode of fuck, what is that Nickelodeon show? No. Guts.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Okay. No, Guts on Nickelodeon.
Where they would climb the craggy mountain. But
I'm like
they
an
would always
Olympian.
get kids from Honduras and shit. And they would run around the track with their flags.
I like how you
They'd be
say
like,
Honduras. It's like, ooh, Nippon. The fuck Japan's like Nippon.
So I do actually think that we live in an interesting time period where like companies like SpaceX are really fucking changing the game of space travel, right?
It's good. I hope it's good.
Yeah. We send astronauts up in the Dragon capsule to the International Space Station.
Such a badass name.
Yeah, I'm like,
Did what's his name?
Dude,
Musk named that?
Yeah,
of course he did.
Because the Falcon 9, right, rocket that sends this capsule of people up there can be re-landed back on the surface of the Earth. It goes up and it comes back down.
And he's a South African. He's a South African fucker with a hair transplant.
So think of
listen.
Think of the billions of dollars you save by being able to recycle that primary rocket.
That's so fire. And it's called
swagger,
Falcon
dude.
9, and it goes into the Dragon whatever.
Yeah.
Dragon capsule.
We live in a fucking unbelievable time period, and so many people don't even know that.
I know.
It's weird.
It's baller as fuck. That motherfucker invented PayPal.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
Revolutionized.
And then they were like, let's just start up this other thing
Venmo.
called Venmo.
Bro, I kid you not. I was early on. I remember before Venmo and Cash App and all this shit was like, yo, send me money. We have a group of friends, obviously. I'm like, yo, PayPal me. Because it was the same method.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
fucking
it's the
method.
Same exact thing.
He was like, yo, you only got Chase? I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, just send your shit to
Yo,
PayPal.
when people are like, do you have Chase? I'm like,
yeah. Like,
yo, you need to walk around with cash at all times.
This is a side segment, but it's just like, I was really pissed off because I'm just like, they thought I was bugging. I'm like, oh, but then when Venmo came popular.
Wait, was I part of
Nah,
that?
you wasn't. No. You understood. You understood.
I'm
but you still. You understood.
See, these
But-
colors don't run. These colors don't run.
You understood.
They don't run.
But like when Venmo was like, popping, they'd be like, oh, just use Venmo. I'm like, damn, you don't know, like Venmo's owned by PayPal. It's the same shit. You're literally doing the same method.
Yeah.
You're doing the same method, and it's owned by the same people.
like Tinder, and like people are like,
It's no. It's a social feed. That's it. There's a social
it's
feed.
unbelievable.
I actually.
You could put emojis. Just put whatever you said. That's the only difference. You sending money, you
It's
take
the
away
weirdest thing
money.
ever. It's like, but why?
I used to get triggered though.
Why would I want to know what everybody else's transactions are?
don't
I
have
like
to
to
know.
keep that information
Exactly.
private. Like, get the
It's
fuck
a
out
weird
of here.
thing. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to make that sidebar.
No, I'm with
like,
you. I actually, like, on principle, I hate Venmo. I have one because, like, it's unavoidable.
I'm a huge I still PayPal to this.
Yeah.
I got
That's how I
credit.
pay for eBay shit.
Oh,
Half of those models up there, PayPal.
Yeah.
Elon, give us a deal. This podcast is brought to you by Venmo, PayPal, Tesla.
White Claw.
When I was in a
SpaceX.
band and we were selling merch, I had the card swiper that you could plug into your phone.
Oh, the square,
Yeah, I
the
have
square
one.
thing, right?
PayPal, yeah.
I have one of those. I have
Yeah.
a PayPal one. I have a Square one. For this one time, I was at Long Island City doing some like cable shit where I was selling art.
Oh, the
Yeah, I sold 3 prints. It was trash, but I had all that. It was great.
Yeah.
It was trash.
Speaking of music,
Yes.
what are you guys listening to?
Oh,
Right
best
now?
song of all
Yeah.
time right now as of
I'll tell you what's on my
August
repeat.
Yeah.
18th.
Make me a
2019.
compelling argument to listen to what you're listening to right
Oh shit!
Mr.
All right.
Roboto by Styx.
now. All right. I'm sold.
The build up on that fucking song. I was
Wait,
talking to my cat.
Styx?
I was- yeah.
You was talking to Leia.
I was talking to Leia. I was like, yo, listen.
You was dancing, you was holding her paws.
Yo,
Just
nah,
like-
she wouldn't let me do that. But I was going after her. I was like, singing the song. It's like, dun. I kind of wish I had the camera going just so I could see myself. I would delete it after that because I don't want anybody to see that. But yeah, I was just like, this song has me so fucking hyped up to go do laundry, which is still in the washer right now. Yeah, it's just like, Mr. Roboto by Styx right now. As of, what is it, 10/14?
Yes.
August 18th, 2019. Mr. Roboto by Styx.
Cool.
All right, Reggie, get off your phone.
No,
20 seconds. I thought about this conversation because I was in the laundry. It was like, all right, we're about to this podcast. I was about to say, what is the song you're going to listen to right now? And I was going to say Styx. I was going to bring it up later, but I forgot. Reggie, put your phone away.
No, I'm looking at my.
Give me a song. No, give me a song. Give me a song. Give me a song.
A song or an artist or an album?
What do you listen to right now? What do you even a beat?
I saw that Pokemon Go on there, by the way. We need to exchange friend codes.
100%.
Oh,
I need one more friend for these dumbass quests.
I know.
Like, I fucking hate these things.
I to play every day. So.
I just got a shiny melodic.
I'm a little chilly.
Beautiful stats.
I have a fucking perfect IV melodic.
Yo,
That's
we'll
my best
talk
Pokemon.
we'll talk later. We'll talk later.
All right.
Some nurture.
That's cool. I'll just sit here. I'll just go.
You can make one too during the party.
I'm a little chilly. I'm in that cold shoulder. Hold on. Let me tighten my jacket up.
Let America warm you up.
Let me tighten this up. How about that?
All that freedom.
If this Heineken needs to be a Budweiser. Recently it's just a lot of Anderson .Paak, Ventura.
Okay.
Ventura.
All right.
That's just been.
I fucked with Malibu for a long time. That was
That was the second album, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because the first one was with whatever the picture of a man or a woman with the glasses.
Malibu. I fucked Anderson .Paak. Do you know? Are you familiar?
Not so much.
Okay. So I was listening to Malibu while doing homework and shit, and you put on Spotify or Pandora, and you want to play an album, and you want to listen to it'll play something similar.
Right.
You listen to Anderson .Paak, there's nothing similar to Anderson .Paak. So it would pick a song, and you're like, yo.
Whoever has like the featured artist.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. Like, I'm painting right now. I'm pulling an all-nighter because I procrastinate.
Cool.
And Anderson .Paak.
So like what?
Live band.
If you could explain in words what one song sounds like, can you give me like a pitch for like what it is? Because I love music like that where it's like it's uncategorizable, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't. It doesn't sound like anything else.
Yeah. Well, Anderson .Paak, like what I like about him is just like the live instrumentation that he has.
Okay.
Even though it's not like, is it like live or is it like replica live?
Live band Motown with some hip hop mixed in.
Cool.
And then like your occasional
bandstand, like you have a live band. There's no I'm sure there's keyboard shit, but it's like you can hear the instruments and recognize them with like a little bit of Motown, sprinkled in,
some swing, some jazz,
inspiration. It's fucking beautiful,
and he'll sprinkle in your typical like, yo, fuck that bitch, get money, but it's like it sounds soothing when you got all these
some of the most
keys
beautiful
and
music you've ever fucking heard. Awesome. And every time you see him perform, he has round sunglasses, so you're like. Yeah,
he's really good. Well, I never seen him live, but
he knows what he's talking about. Well, I've only seen him online, but he's always wearing round sunglasses.
Yeah,
I'm like, anybody that wears round sunglasses, you got round glasses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you know what you're talking about.
What if there were transitions?
I don't believe it.
Those are deep as fuck. Mine's are definitely transitions. Anybody else?
You're a trickster.
Anybody else? That's some hardcore.
You're like, yeah, we sell bikes, but they're electric. but they're electric. Fucking Uber.
What do you mean? But everyone is like, hey, this is gonna be a trend in the next year or two.
So my band of choice lately has been a 4-piece outfit from Mexico City called Ray Pila, and that translates to King Battery, and they are exactly what the 80s would have produced, but with modern technology, right? So like their whole like vibe is like Stranger Things and like and like really like
when you say cool, 80s already sold.
Yeah,
but
it's like cool pop rock. Like
I had some questions about the name, but then you translated it.
Yeah,
cool.
And
King Battery.
Yeah, and
it was Ray
Pila.
Yeah, Rape Land. That's it.
And their like whole aesthetic is like, I don't know, it's like ripped right out of like
A TV show?
Yeah, like a scratch and sniff fucking.
Oh,
fucking
shit.
notebook, right? It's like so fucking 80s.
Okay.
To the point where like we finished our camp with the middle school kids last week, right? Friday. And you know, me and I had a co-teacher for this particular camp, and like we were like, all right, we got to clean up the room after the parent presentations. Sorry, I just hit you in the shoulder. I spilled beer on you.
Reggie, you
Dude,
bitch!
I know, I'm beating
Reggie,
you up
you
tonight.
fucking
I'm
bitch.
sorry. And like we just put on Ray Pila on the overhead projectors, like speaker system.
I can
'cause we
see
were
it
like,
now.
Yeah, cool.
BuzzFeed. Music and natural history and plays listen to Rapeopolis.
And my manager comes in at the after the fact, and she's like, "Wow, cool 80s music, all right!" Like she's like dancing to it, and I'm like, "This song released like fucking on Monday, right? Like it's not 80s music at all. It's like it's like 2019 music, but like you wouldn't know that if you didn't just know that, right? And I don't know, man. It's like it's exactly what I'm looking for in terms of like enjoyable party setting rock music, right? Like nowadays I feel like rock music is way too far heavy or way too far traditional to actually be played in like a public setting, right? Like you don't go to a bar and hear rock music.
No.
You hear like
it's all the
maybe you hear like the Chili Peppers and like Sublime, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like playing on that nostalgia factor. But like this is modern, good rock music where you're like
Shout out to
Alright.
Rapeopolis.
Cool. Yeah.
Rapeopolis. What is it called?
Ray Pila from Mexico City.
Rapa.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Raper. Like Rapa.
Rapala?
Ray R-E-Y Pila. P-I-L-A.
Ray Pila.
Yeah.
Rape.
I'll throw them out for you guys before I leave. Because
Ray-
they're super
Kobe's
rad.
like, Ray people. Ray Pila.
Rapia.
Pula.
Rapula.
Pula.
Rapia.
Rapula.
Kayla and I are going to see the Strokes on New Year's Eve at Barclays Center. That's also something.
That's pretty
happening.
cool.
Yeah.
So I love Rapula and I want to see the Strokes. That's it.
I want to see the Strokes. I want to see the Strokes. Nah,
man,
let me
Rapula's
stop.
opening for the Strokes. Yeah.
I was trying to make a joke, but
If
it
they
was
open
gonna
for
be
the
bad.
Strokes, I'll poo my pants. That's
Yeah.
so fucking rad.
You and everybody
God.
else that got Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Have you guys ever seen Cosby House?
No.
Okay.
No?
So Cosby House is a product of ch101.com. Do you know what that is?
No.
All right, ch101.com is a website where
This is like a
people-
4chan?
No. It's like where people
I sense racism.
people. It stands for channel101.com, right? People pilot their own animation videos.
Oh, shit.
That if they get enough like positive votes, then CH101 as an organization will fund them to
Interesting.
make the
Oh,
the
it's like
next
Reddit
episode.
for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This has been going on for a long time, and Cosby House was was a pilot about Bill, a guy who clones Bill Cosby into multiple forms, and the voices of all of these guys, these Bill Cosby guys, is done by Justin Roiland, who is the co-creator of Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
That's
So this is like one of his early projects, and it was funny enough that like it got enough like votes that CH101 like was like, all right, cool, we'll fund you for a few more episodes. But then it got to a point where Bill Cosby issued a cease and desist because he was so offended by
His
what.
glaucoma having ass. The
Yeah.
fuck? He didn't watch that shit.
Yeah, which in hindsight is actually really funny because it's like, well, Bill Cosby. I mean, like, come on, bro. Like,
Bill.
you don't really have a leg to stand on, pal.
Where
You know,
you about
So,
to be
like,
in the trenches.
Yeah.
Well, he is in the trenches.
So
My favorite video of Bill Cosby is when he's walking from a court date and they got him on the thing and he's just like,
He does the double take, and he's just like,
yo, what?
super quick. Like, he breaks his neck like some girl with a cake on fire. Just like,
One of my favorite Bill Cosby meme videos is the Bill Cosby reinterpretation of the Super Smash Brothers Brawl opening.
What?
You ever seen that?
No, we gotta watch this after.
Hold
But
on.
what?
I'm gonna pull this up
If you-
right
if you
now.
can find it, it's
Hold on.
amazing.
I will.
You know how it goes, right?
All right, hold on. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
What?
It's just Cosby jokes all the way around.
Oh, you're gonna put the display?
Oh yeah.
It's
All
amazing.
right, cool. For all the visuals.
Sorry guys, just give me a second. All right.
For all the visuals, don't open your history. Can I have some more of that water? This cup has been
Bill
diluted
Cosby
between beer,
smash.
rosé.
Well, Smash Bros. Brawl. It will certainly come up.
Do you have a Switch, by the way?
I fucking sure as do.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I need to get one.
Yeah,
I need to
dude.
get one. All right, is this it?
I think
I'm
so,
just gonna
yeah.
click it.
I don't know what to anticipate. Like,
Is this it?
Yeah, this is definitely it.
That's a funny name. No, actually, it's like the new coat, man. Funky and all that. They listen to the rap.
Wait, is this the whole thing? Oh Jesus Christ! all right, we got it. We got it. Yeah.
It's just basically all sound bites from his like other interpretations on like Family Guy and The Simpsons
Yeah.
and like yeah. But
I gotta pee again.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my
Bill-
bladder is pussy.
Bill Cosby is somehow immortalized in meme culture.
oh,
Even though he's like
I wonder
in
why.
prison for the rest of his life.
oh yeah,
so-
he's not leaving.
Yeah.
anytime soon. I felt a little bad though, cause I was just like, damn, his show was so great for me as a
I
child.
love the Cosby Show growing up, man.
It's so like,
Yeah.
like just to hear something like that, I'm just like, oh, like when it first came around, I was like, that's really disappointing, because I'm like, you did so much for like a certain demographic or community of people, and then it's just like how can you balance like doing so good, but then like behind the scenes you're doing some fucked up shit,
Right.
like if it were true or not, whatever. It's just like it's hard to like
It's hard
sympathize,
it's really hard to
or even-
rationalize because like I can't imagine a situation where Bill Cosby doesn't realize the gravity of the situation he's in, right? Like he's doing so much for like the African American
Yeah.
like group of people, right?
Yeah.
Like he's basically normalizing their existence in our modern day culture.
even though, because he was a doctor, like he was like he
Yeah.
lived in a brownstone,
Fake
like
doctor.
yeah,
whatever.
They gave him.
yeah,
Whatever.
They rescinded
the same
invitation.
holes exist for like the Brady Bunch, right?
Mhm,
Like
that's
you,
true, yeah.
you can make the same arguments against like why the Cosby Show isn't realistic as you could in that day and age. Like make
Yeah, Dick
against,
Van Dyke, all that
right,
bullshit.
yeah,
It's fake TV.
but just for the sheer sense of like this is being publicized to millions and millions of people as a broadcast that everybody is like ending their normal day with and like
I normally
realizing that like yes that like America consists of more than just the normal white nuclear family, right, on TV. Like here's an example of a black family that exists and operates within society, and there are other examples of other cultures too that like that are like
Ooh, excuse me.
being kind of brought into the normalization at that time period, right? That I think we attribute to being very progressive for their time. And how do you be Bill Cosby and know that you're the fucking star of this momentous thing in history, and then on the back end do all this fucked up shit?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's so fucked, dude.
You have to be.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you have to be more than scum, like
Yeah, you're a sick fuck.
Yeah.
to be okay with it too.
Yeah,
because that just means like
There's a rationality that went on through his head, because any act you do, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, you're gonna rationalize, And that's what you do. That's how you decide if you're going to pick up whatever and you're going to
Yeah.
buy something. You rationalize before you do it. And there was something broken in his brain, whether it was due to his celebrity or it was always there. I mean, I don't know. Like, what makes a rapist? Is it in your head? Is it opportunity? Depending on who it is. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know
I mean,
what.
that's a fucked up test, huh? Like,
Yeah. I don't know what drives a person to make those
Yeah.
logical conclusions, right? But like something has to, because obviously it happens. So, I don't
and
know,
it
man.
happens a lot with people in power.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gems. Yeah, it's not really a
oh
gem.
yeah,
but
oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Just give a nod to yourself.
Yeah, like fucking Weinstein and fucking like
Yeah.
whoever else. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
I guess like Louis C.K.
yeah.
Chill, I need him to speak out still.
Nah, chill,
I need something from him because Aziz Ansari spoke out already. He made fun of that whole shit.
Louis C.K. was just jerking off in front of people.
He was doing it in his show for Matt.
Yeah, like he was just like, yeah, come back to my room.
As a
And they went. You don't go to a hotel room unless you're trying to fuck.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I know.
I'm sorry.
drinks or no drinks.
This is the thing that I'm.
Why would you go to somebody's hotel room? I can understand if he was like in his office, his public office, he was bringing
or
people
we're in a professional environment. Yeah,
like come to my hotel room. People will be like, yeah, let's go watch a movie.
Yeah.
Your man was on a
You're gonna be
ride.
upset when somebody's like, let's fuck.
If anything, I'm more sad about Louis C.K. than Bill Cosby.
Yeah, fuck Bill Cosby. He's a rapist.
I'm more
Louis C.K.
sad,
like he was fired.
Yeah.
Bill
Yeah.
Cosby, ever since
He
like
was on a rise.
Eddie Murphy Delirious was like, Eddie Murphy was like, yeah, Bill Cosby called me, told me not to curse on thing, or this is Raw, and then like he has the bit where Richard Pryor is like, he's telling this to Richard Pryor, and Richard Pryor is like, well, you tell Bill Cosby to drink a Coke and shut the fuck up, like, you know, like it's like whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it? Hannibal Buress, right?
Hannibal
Is
Buress
the guy
brought
who
the
outed.
whole
Yeah,
thing.
he's
Yeah,
the guy
he
that brought it
sparked
out
it.
to light,
Yeah,
right?
he was like, y'all know that Bill Cosby
Yeah.
is raping people, right? And
Yeah.
everybody's okay with this. And then it was just like,
It blew up, yeah.
Yeah.
boom.
My whole thing though is like piggybacking off the whole thing we were talking about earlier about Colin Moriarty is like I try my hardest to reserve to pass judgment on these things unless I really do the research and like hear straight from the
First,
source,
yeah.
right? Like what people's account of the things that they're being like accused of are. So like
You have to.
I mean, the die has already been cast for Bill Cosby, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really
Mhm.
matter, right?
Mhm.
Like,
But it is innocent until proven guilty.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
That is
So-
the way it, for better or worse, that's the saying.
Yeah.
And that's
For me,
how it should be.
Yeah, for-
Right? I mean, other than O.J. Simpson.
for
but-
people like, but for people like, you know, Aziz Ansari, and for people like Louis C.K., and for people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, at this
Yeah,
point,
he had
yeah,
one.
That was a random
A lot
one
of people
for
are
me. I was
under
like,
heat, right? And I'm like,
the
you know,
fuck you
people
bitches
ask me
doing?
about that shit all the time, and I'm like, I don't know
About
I
Neil
don't-
or in
yeah,
general?
yeah, like,
Oh.
about Neil. I've been lucky enough to like meet him, you know, like
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I ran
that's
into him.
new. That's fire.
I
'Cause
ran
I
in-
always ask you about that. That's new.
I ran into him in an elevator at the museum.
That's fire.
Yeah, which is funny, but like,
What'd you say? Were you just like,
I didn't want to blow up the spot. I was
Yeah.
with a colleague of mine, and her and I were just kind of like, yeah, we're in the fucking elevator with Neil. That's pretty cool, right? Like we were just like meeting eyes together, and then Neil broke the silence, and I was wearing a Constellations shirt, right? Like a graphic design shirt of the
I had a
Constellations,
shirt
and
that
he
I
was
wanted
like,
to wear. Sorry, I had a shirt that I wanted to wear. It had planets on it, but it's in the laundry in the basement. I didn't finish my laundry. Okay, so he broke the silence.
So Neil notices my shirt, and he goes, "That's a pretty cool shirt." In his, like, Neil
Fire.
voice. And I was like, well, this is a pretty cool moment right
thanks,
now. So,
man.
hey, I'm John.
John Ullmann.
Way to break
What's
the
going on?
ice,
Yeah.
Neil, you fucking bastard. So I shook his hand, and then he like goes on to be fucking Neil, a fucking physicist, true and true, right? Where he goes, how many constellations are there?
And I'm like thinking about the shirt, right? Because I'm like, well, you just commented on the shirt. So I like quickly looked down at the shirt. And I'm like, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not really sure. I don't know, Neil. And he was like, 88. Fuck! It's the same number as keys on a piano. It's 88. Don't forget it. And I'm like, I know that. In my head, I'm like, God damn it! Why are you testing me, Neil? And then he walked out of the elevator like the fucking warlock that he is. And I haven't seen him since.
All right. So okay, real quick.
That's too good, man.
Real quick.
Fuck.
You have a moment in time that you can go back and fix your answer. Obviously, John's is answering 88.
Yeah.
Now, I'll go to Reggie first. Then I'll go, and then we'll go back to him to get your real one. But, Reggie, if you could go back and fix an answer to any question, what would it be?
That's a tough one. A little. I could either go really jokingly or serious, but I don't know. I'm too drunk to think about that.
It's kind of like a rephrase of like the question of what is your biggest regret,
Ooh,
right? Like,
yeah.
what did you say that
Yeah.
you should have
or
said something
do,
otherwise for? Yeah.
Do you regret throwing the science textbook at that girl's head?
No, I don't. No, I do
know that?
not.
John doesn't know that story.
Oh.
We'll get into it after that.
I do not regret
The power
that
of
at all.
science.
Like, yeah, that made her forehead bigger. There was this. It was in like junior high school. The school that's literally right next to Museum of Natural History with the schoolyard or whatever. I went to that school and it was in science class and.
I'm opening this.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm just I'm just minding my business with a group of kids. There's this girl across the classroom. She, obviously, I have big eyes, so she's just like, "Hey, yo, big eyes. Hey, yo, bug eyes." And I'm ignoring her. Like, I hear her as I'm like having a conversation with my friends, and she's like, "Hey, yo, bug eyes," and I'm just like, "What the fuck? Like, what does she want?" And then she's like, "Hey, yo, bug eyes, you don't hear me talking to you?" And then, like, at that point, I'm just, like, fed up. So, like, I just grabbed those really, like, nice hardcover textbooks.
Yeah.
With the sharp edges with the gloss on the end of them. The thick ones. I just fucking, like, palm it like this.
Yeah,
and I just fucking toss that shit. Like, I kid you not, like, probably from where Colby's door is. And this is probably where she was sitting. And I just flung that shit.
Wait.
And she got shit.
This door or my...
No, your front.
right
no,
here.
no, the front door.
The one that's within arm's reach of my hand right now. Yeah.
That's nothing. No, she wasn't that close. But yeah, to the Kobe's Doe's apartment. Yeah, flung that shit. Hit her in a fucking big ass 5 head that it already was. And this was already
assault, brother.
This is already like the week of the last week of like of school or whatever, the semester or whatever. And, like, yeah, just get pulled out in the hallway. And then, like, I'm a nice kid. I wasn't a bully or anything like that. I wasn't a fucking, whatever, gangster or whatever.
Like, listen, she got what she fucking deserved.
Yo, it was just like, yo, you know what you did is wrong.
Like,
I was just like, yo, but she called me names. And then the principal was just like, yeah, you can't do that. I was just like, tell her not to call me names and then we won't have any problems. She can just call me by my name like a regular human being and it'll be okay.
Right.
And then,
you know what's so funny? Like, if that conversation was like, the principal just pulling out the girl for calling you bug eyes, it would be a completely different thing.
Oh,
you to your credit or to your whatever, sprinkled in assault, okay, with a non-deadly weapon. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
But if that was just the principal being like, "Hey, you can't call them names," it would be kind of like a joke thing. But you added the response to the name calling.
Yeah,
like. This is like an anti-bullying campaign right here. There's somewhere in here like, it's like you want to bully people? Well, you're gonna bully Reggie and he's gonna throw a textbook at your ass.
Right.
Like, you're gonna fuck with the wrong person.
You're gonna receive some social justice from this motherfucker.
Some physical violence.
Right.
Let's call it that.
Right.
Social justice is a little confusing. Let's call it physical violence.
If you want to bully me, you're gonna understand the repercussions of bullying anybody.
You're gonna
right?
understand knowledge because I'm gonna throw 3 pounds of it at your head with corners.
Everyone just stopped and I was like, because everyone like I never like did anything, so it was just like really shocking for people to like just see me like act out, and that was just all attention. I just held up, and then
Damn.
I was just
I
like,
guarantee
no more.
Yeah.
She's
No
like,
more.
I hear you.
she's in her job right now. You know, she got the dent in her head. She's just like,
Yo, some bitch tried to stab me with keys. Or matter of fact, she did. Like,
wait, what?
yeah, some bitch tried to stab me
When?
with keys. This was in Spanish class, and like,
In A&D?
no.
It would be in
This
Spanish.
same school. I think probably a year later.
So don't go to the school, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, chill. This is only chill. This is Upper West Side. You would think where
yeah.
you go
Well, I mean,
matters, but
I
obviously
went to
it
this
doesn't.
middle school across the street.
Yeah.
That's the most fights I've ever
Obviously, it
been in.
doesn't matter where you go.
It's a
But
time in your life
yeah.
and you got to fight for it.
I get school
that's
right.
true.
I get school
Yeah.
partnership kids from the Upper West Side, and I'm like,
They're the
what are
type
you
to
guys
throw a
talking
book.
about?
They're the type
Yeah.
to throw a book.
yeah.
It's like I met this kid named Reggie. But I forgot how that kind of went down a little bit. But like, apparently I was talking shit about her or like to another person because she was a scumbag. Like she was just a tall fucking skinny geek. And she was fucking ugly. But I mean, like she was talking shit. I think she was talking shit about like one of my friends, and then like she just had a little. She was like a part. She was like the
Can I
Kanker
jump
sisters
in
and
real
like
quick?
Ed and Eddie.
Reggie,
and she was.
can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Reggie will fight for his friends, whether it be verbally. I've never gotten into a situation where he needs to fight me physically, but he will fight for you verbally.
Yeah.
Which I can attest to. I can put my word on. The only reason I'm not saying I could do that for physically because I've never gotten into a situation. I have no doubt that he would. But the English teacher, he stood up for me. In other situations that I won't bring up, he's stood up for me. Now,
I mean, there's been a situation
I'm
where
just
like,
validating.
thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm
There's
just
been a
validating.
situation where like we'll lock eyes and it's just like,
Yeah, it's like yeah.
you ready?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like she was just talking about one of my friends, and I was just like she just like I'm still in mid conversation like. And she just throws the fucking keys, and I'm like leaking on the side of my head, and like I run out because obviously like there's Spanish, so I go to my homeroom.
Nothing obvious about this.
No, I mean like whatever. No, because I was trying to reiterate that it was Spanish and not like the same homeroom, whatever. But yeah, so I run out in the hallway. And I run to my teacher. Everyone's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I was like, "You the stupid cunt bitch, whatever." Fucking put keys at me or whatever. And I'm just like, I can't hear her, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just like furious.
Bullshit. Equal opportunity dictates. I do declare, equal opportunity dictates that you punch her right in her mouth, Reggie.
We were the same height.
Yeah.
We were 5'9".
In like sixth grade.
Yeah.
Battle of giant, lanky giants. Don't.
It's like when the Megazords
Yeah.
start to fight at the end of the Power Rangers.
You would have seen me like,
It's just two slow-mos, just like.
Reggie done.
But yeah, I just got sent to the nurse, and then like eventually, like the week after, parent-teacher conference was around, and then
Your mother
she's-
fucked her up?
No, not my mother, but she's not. She's not.
She got fucked
Nah,
up.
Nah. There was an opportunity for her. Like someone offered. So I call her my sister, but she's not really my like. She's an older cousin, but she was like my sister figure.
That's what I'm talking about.
So when she found out, she was like, "What?" She was like, "Yo, point that bitch out." And I was just like, I don't think I should, but if I do, like, she's gonna immediately just walk up to her and just give it in her hands. And then so I told her who she was. She was like, "You let this little skinny broad like blah, blah." I was like, "Yeah."
like
her.
a situation like that is like, what are you supposed to do? Give her the fucking ultimate combo? Like, are you supposed to box her the fuck up?
I mean,
I pushed a girl in the garbage. In middle school,
like a long one.
All right, in middle school, me and my friend Dan. I don't think you met Dan, but the three people that watch this know who Dan is, and
Gonzalez.
exactly. So in middle school we had this
Dan
thing
the
called
man.
trash time, which was we would in New York City you see the giant piles of trash outside of buildings and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
So-
I've never noticed that before.
We would be up by we would walk up to a pile of trash and there'd be an unsuspecting victim, whether it be me, Dan, or somebody else, and we would shove them as hard as we could into the trash. Not thinking about needles, glass, anything like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
All right, so we're playing trash time.
It's tissue and paper.
I pushed this kid
What could
Jordan.
go wrong?
Like there was times where I would just jump into it just to get a laugh. Like I like it'd be like, yo, it's trash time. Oh my god! And we were playing Trash Time. I thought it was a good time to play Trash Time outside of school. Literally across the street. This is my middle school I went to.
Yeah.
And we're playing Trash Time. I pushed this kid Jordan. He was like Reggie's height in middle school. He was a big kid. I knew him. I was friends with him. I pushed. I was like, "Yo, Trash Time," and Dan's there. So nothing's happened to me because Dan's right now he's 6'7", 300. Okay. So he was always the biggest kid, and he was my best friend.
Sure.
There was nothing bad happening to me. I'm sorry. Like
right.
people say, "Oh, you were talking shit because Dan was your friend." I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. You didn't have a freaking me. Fuck. So I pushed this kid Jordan. There was this little white girl there, and she ended up in the trash too. Was that my problem? Not really. Kind of became a problem when she slapped me in my face. She got up and slapped me.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh. And then this was in the time of Purple City Burger King. Come on. It's a hood shit. I'm white as fuck, but I was like, yo, don't touch my face.
Yeah.
Yo, don't touch my face. And that is the motto. Like, that's, don't touch my face, don't step on my shoes. And that's it. And then this is Upper East Side, white as you can get, but don't touch my face, step on my shoes.
It's very simple. ladies and
So
gentlemen.
she slaps me in my face, and I look around, and I was just like, bah! And I was like, yo, it's trash time. Bah! And I just pushed her into the trash. So that was
And
my
now
solution.
she has hepatitis C.
Yeah. She got rickets. She's dead. But yeah, so it's like, what are you supposed to do in a situation like that?
I mean, I wasn't outside to put in some trash.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, what are you supposed to do?
Yo, in my mind, obviously
feel
I've
like
seen
that is
red,
some
but
bullshit.
like it is some bullshit, and I
It
clearly,
is.
I feel like this was in a time before
Equal
I
pay, equal hands. That's what I'm saying.
like obviously this was before art school. I feel like art school changed my whole perspective, or just like my anger and shit. But like, yeah, like I saw red, and I was just like, damn, I can't do anything. I feel shitty. Somebody has to do this for me, and
Now you
now
put out
it's
a
just
hit.
like,
That's how rich men work. You were like, I can't do anything.
I didn't know
but I'll
anyone.
get somebody.
I didn't know anyone. Actually, I knew one other person, but she was obviously a senior, and I was 5th grade. She was an 8th grader. I was a 5th grader.
Yeah, but that makes a world of difference. 5th to 8th grade. That's a whole
that's
different
a
human body.
universe.
Yeah,
that's a
and she was
universe
also
difference.
bigger than her. So
That's
it
like
was
sending like a tarantula against a couple of ants.
I'll
Like,
tell you this.
that
She
bitch
was.
will come
yeah.
through like a
It's-
fucking. Speaking of megas, just like
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
chill
it's-
land like a Gundam. Just
I'll tell you this.
It's
She
so true.
she was my Dan. Like she wasn't as big as Dan, but she was.
You had a lady Dan.
I had a lady Dan.
She touched your dick.
No.
Oh,
I was in. She was in 8th, and I was in 5th. What are you talking about? Like, no.
I don't know.
She didn't have
You
the
never know.
do-rag. Like,
Reggie's got
no,
some of the
none of that.
best stories. Reggie's got the best stories.
Story time. Come around the campfire, ladies and gentlemen.
You're not wrong though.
Um,
I teach middle school programs. Sometimes I get 8th graders who are way too cool for school and 6th graders in the same class. And I'm like trying to partner them up, and I'm like, yo, you guys got to work together. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Real quick. Any of them smoke Juul pods? The 8th graders? Or you catch them smoking Juul
not that
pods?
I know of. I mean, I'm sure some of them do, but like,
I smoked a Juul in the I've smoked a weed pen in the Museum of Natural History.
yeah, you got to remember though, like the kids that sign up for my classes are the kids that sign up for sign
That's
up
true,
camp,
yeah.
right?
That's
Like,
the whole
Not
thing.
the ones that
Like,
got sent because
right.
it's for like punishment or
right,
whatever.
right. Like we
That's
get
true.
we get some kids who are like, you want to be
like
here.
we pay for
we pay for their MTA cards so that
Mhm.
they can come, right? Like they're
That's fire.
some of them.
Yeah, we needed
yeah.
this 8 years ago, not
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Which is, I think that's a great thing that the museum does, right? Like we diversify our demographic of students that
museum-
sign up for the classes by making sure that the barriers to entry are not valid, right?
Mhm.
Like if you can't come because you're from fucking South Brooklyn and
The train's too far.
yeah, it's too far and it's too expensive for you to get to us, like, don't worry about it, we'll pay for it.
That's fire. That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is that's amazing,
That's
right?
beautiful. That's as good as it gets.
It's one of the things that the museum does really well is like we focus on diversity
No
first
matter
and foremost,
yeah.
right?
It doesn't
Like,
matter
and
how
that's-
much you can afford.
or where,
exactly,
how far.
exactly.
What you should do. Now, I don't know if you have Neil Tyson's ear, but science art classes.
Yeah.
I I agree. There are
Science art classes.
some programs where we offer. So the Lang program, for example, is one bigger program of curricula that we offer. Where, and this is totally fucking bizarre to me, right? Because I didn't have this opportunity when I was a kid, and I would never have taken advantage of it when I was a kid. But we interview 5th graders going into 6th grade for a 7-year commitment to science extracurricular class.
What a contract.
Yeah, holy shit. It's called the Lang program. And
Lightning.
you get into it, you're one of like a group of like maybe 24 students that get into a class. And when you get in at 6th grade, you're expected to take every other Saturday, you're at the museum for a science class that runs through the school year. Then it's 3 weeks of camp through the summer every year until you're a senior in high school.
That's a baller ass fucking program.
Bold ass commitment.
Hell yeah!
You know
As
what?
a 5th grader.
That's
Holy
word.
shit.
That's crazy, but
Clearly, the parents have most.
Did you
input
guys
in
go to
that,
summer
but-
camp as kids?
No.
Did you go to summer camp?
Not like the one that you did, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
Traditional,
is
no.
okay, and it is anything where you're
It's-
working together.
It's
There
more
is
common than I realized, because when I was growing up, like, I fucking just hung out in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm from rural Long Island.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like that. There's summer camps out there, but like not everybody does them. But yeah, go ahead.
there is a sense of camaraderie that you get from either being at a summer camp or working at it, or even the mural in Harlem we were just working on.
Yeah,
There's a sense of the whole school year. There's a sense of camaraderie because you're all in the fucking shits. You're all doing the same shit, and you bond over it. And
Yeah.
that's,
Excuse me.
that's why our friend group is so tight, because we were all dealing with the same bullshit or doing the same shit, and you kind of get it when you go to work. You know, like, your closest friends are usually the people you work with, right? Because,
Definitely.
like, you're around them all the time, and there's, like, shit you can't explain to other people that are outside of it.
Yeah.
It's just, like, the little interactions.
Those are the only ones that you that relate.
It's just
so,
like,
yeah.
that's it. Like, you get, every time you start a new job, you get super close to the people you work
Right.
with. Now, multiply that by 2, because in summer camp, this is who you're working with, and sleeping, like, not sleeping with, but you're sleeping in the same place. So, like, a sleepaway camp. So I kind of understand that, because if you're a kid and that's your summer camp, then that's it. Like, that's your way to go, and
dude,
it's a select few. And it also sounds like you're picking out the people to survive the
Word.
It's an amazing
Yeah.
program.
These are
Like,
the people that
Yeah.
they get into the fortress when the world is going down.
and when
They
so
come
like,
out like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Or
so
like,
like
the beginning in high school.
it's designed so that like when you come out the other end of it, you are equipped to go to college so that you can major in
You're
a
equipped to
science
go
topic.
to college and fuck China in the ass.
Yeah, and you're like ready to do research, right?
I like
by
the sound
the
of
end
that
of it.
10 times better
And
than
the
traditional.
weird part for me though is that like I was involved in the interview process, right, this year for
Yeah.
the incoming 6th graders for next year. So like I had a hand in
Oh shit.
evaluating the 5th
It stopped.
graders who are like
That's so
applying
crazy.
for the program, and like they're fucking in 5th grade.
it stopped?
How the
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, just hit record again.
All right.
Okay, we're good. Sorry.
Hello.
That was a
I
weird
think
break.
I think I hit the keyboard with my
The
beer
space
bottle.
bar? Oh.
I am so sorry. John was just saying how he equips the 5th graders with weapons of mass destruction
During his interview
And,
process.
So we're picking up with the fact that I've interviewed 5th grade students for what is a 7-year-long Lang program of science extracurricular activities, and these kids, right, like they don't understand the gravity of the situation that they're in, right? Like they're just trying to impress me in a small 20-minute time
Yeah,
frame
because
of
their
like,
parents
yeah,
will beat
they're-
them
yeah,
if
exactly.
they get the
Like,
bad letter that
"Oh,
says
we
you
want
will
you to
not-
do this thing, right? So like you better be good, and
You
then,
better
like,
be good, or
yeah.
Christmas is going to suck dick.
And I'm like, all right, I have a group of items here. Can you classify them in a scientific
so
way?
you're-
It's a
oh,
real like
whoa, that's
evaluation.
weird.
Hands-on,
it's
yeah.
so fucking weird.
Okay.
Do you ever like be like give him a hand and be like, no. just like a little like.
I can't help but be like, oh my god, you guys, like, of course they're fucking nervous, right?
Yeah.
And like they have no
Yeah.
idea what they're saying.
You should
to
just
me.
be like, listen.
It's the weirdest shit
Fortnite. Just be like, listen, I fuck with Fortnite.
Not well. The way
just
you would
give
do
him a-
that, just have like a shirt or something to be like, oh shit, he likes Fortnite. Maybe that calms it down.
Yeah.
What's a
just
way
a
that
little
you
bit.
could be like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's forget about all. Well, that's what everyone says. Like,
Yeah.
let's forget about all this. That's what they tell you.
Because they
when
look
you're
at
getting-
you
always-
as like
I
the
always-
professional. Like
yeah,
they see
I
you
know.
as a god. They be like,
I
oh
always
my
try
God.
to provide an example, right? So like the question will be like, all right, so tell me, like, what is your favorite science fact that you know, right?
Fuck.
And then the kid will freeze and be like,
Yeah.
oh, what? You know? And I'm the
Facts.
all right, so for example, like, I love space, so one of my favorite facts is that Venus rotates backwards, right? So like, if you were to live on Venus, like, you would actually see the sun rise in the east and set in the west, right? Because it actually rotates
If I was that
backwards.
kid, I would just stay, suck my dick,
Yeah.
and I would just go because I don't know about
So
any science.
I always try to provide like a personal like take
like,
on
I
exactly
give-
what they're supposed to
I
tell
give
me.
the hardest example of science, and
But I always feel so bad, right? Because some kids will then just be like, "Okay, cool, thank you. Now I know what to say," and
Yeah.
they tell me something, and then other kids I know are just fucking nervous, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "I don't know, I don't
Yeah.
know," and I'm like. I know you're in 5th grade. I'm asking a lot from you. Like, you know what I mean? It's like how can I just be
That's
like, all right,
hard.
sorry,
Yeah.
your
No,
next
that-
7 years
You ever
of
watch
your life
Lost?
are gone.
You ever watch Lost?
I love Lost, dude. Lost is my
now,
favorite TV
do you
show of all
remember
time.
when the
That's my cue to
mayor
go take a
from
piss.
Okay, okay. Do you remember? Can you go get a 6-pack?
6-pack.
I'm probably not long for this podcast.
Okay.
So it's 11 o'clock. I'm having a lot of fun, but I do have to go to work tomorrow.
Okay, so do you remember when the representative of the fucking like the people that whispered or whatever the lost the others, thank
others,
you,
yeah.
the others. That motherfucker, he went to John Locke's like trailer when he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And he was like organized these fucking squares or whatever.
What's
and
his
or
name?
pick,
Richard Alpert, right?
Yes.
That's the guy?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
the guy with the eyeliner,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He played the mayor
Yeah.
in Dark Knight, and Joker
Yes.
killed his ass.
Yeah.
Now he's like, or he told him to pick an item, and John Locke picked the hunting knife.
Yeah.
And then he never came back.
Yeah, he goes, no, nah, you're not ready.
You're the Alpert.
I know I am.
That's so scary.
And these kids have no fucking idea what the criteria is that I'm actually like grading them on.
You
And
are the
I know.
Illuminati
I
to
know.
these
I
like
know.
young scientific
I
minds.
know.
You're like, there's gonna be, and Elon Musk be like, yeah, this fucking asshole in a fully cooley shirt. He
I'm
told
the
me I
gatekeeper.
wasn't science
Yeah.
enough for the science club.
It's true. I am the gatekeeper, and I feel like shit when I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's a tough gig.
I have to turn have to turn away 90% of you guys, right? Like only a few of you guys are gonna make it into here, and I have to judge it solely on like what you say to me day and date, and given what your parents give to me as information about your background, whether or not I think you will benefit from this class, right? So like if there's a privileged white boy from the Upper West Side,
Yeah.
right, who is like knows everything about science and like actually answers every question that I ask him like with complete certainty and knows maybe just as much about science as I do, guess what? You're not qualified for the Lang Science program because you are so privileged that like you don't need it.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah, so like
Wow.
we take that into consideration as well. It's
To be like, he'll be okay.
right,
Which is crazy because you don't know that he'll be okay.
exactly.
Ooh, that's rough.
So that actually adds another wrinkle into it where it's like, all right, if I can tell that you've got so many other commitments to like other like science programs that you're involved with that may be actually lying on every other Saturday during the school year and 3 weeks during the summer is going to be too much of a commitment for you, you're not going to qualify. Actually, it has to be for like.
How many kids do you think you're sending to their beatings?
I know. I have no idea. I have no idea. And it's really scary to me because like, yeah, like I have a 33% like verdict in whether or not we take a kid.
Holy shit.
Right? So like, yeah, the interviews are conducted over a course of weeks, but like every interview consists of like 3 main educators who are part of the Langs program.
That's so rough because not everybody can test the same, right?
I know.
They could all be the
Yeah.
equivalent person. They're all, one could be even smarter, but they do not test like the other person does.
Totally.
And
it's very subjective.
They can
for
go
what
to
it
MoMA.
is,
They can go to the fucking
Yeah.
MoMA. Like,
Yeah.
fuck them. Like, oh, that's crazy. Hey, Neil Tyson, fix it. Like, fix it.
He's like not involved at all.
I
with this
know.
shit.
The everyday shit, yeah.
He's funny because like he's so affiliated with the museum because he is the director of the planetarium, but like
Oh, he is?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
But he's like never there. Never. You know what I mean? Like so and he's not Neil is not known for his contributions to science. Right? He is a science communicator, which is
Bill Nye.
yeah, which
He's
is
like pretty much what you do, right?
exactly. He's
Yeah.
what I am, right?
Yeah.
Like he's somebody who translates what the research is to the general
Yeah.
public, right?
Yeah.
And he does that so well that like he skyrocketed to popularity.
I think you guys, like people that do that, are not as important as the people that do the research,
For sure.
But to the general public, you might be more important because
Well, the people that's doing the
I'm
research
sorry,
are
it's
just
just
like
like-
stuck in the lab versus where they
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
how to-
and
not
those,
saying they don't know how to
those
talk,
people
but
are like, hey,
Unfortunately, like our policymakers are not up to snuff about actual science rigor, right? So like we are really important in today's day and age in the sense that like if a scientist comes to some conclusion about some facet of the universe that we live in, but can't disseminate that information to somebody who holds power to like make certain that human discourse accompanies that
Yeah.
finding in some certain way, right? Like then it's totally meaningless, right? Like the knowledge is here, but it's there's a barrier in between where knowledge exists and where actual human activity reflects that knowledge, right? So like the translator, the communicator, that's like the position that I hold, and that like people, I mean, I just do it for students who are interested in the actual particular topic, but like people who talk to policymakers and are like, no, we can't actually utilize this fucking mechanism where we're like sending air compressor guns into the ocean to
Yeah.
map the seafloor because
Yeah,
it's killing off like more of the environment.
The higher level science
Yeah.
translators are the ones that keep us safe.
Right.
They like Bill Nye, whatever. He's a kid sensation, but motherfucker knows his shit.
Yeah.
And if somebody talked to him and like
He's like kind of fallen more in line lately with like being wrapped up in just virtue signaling of like what we should and shouldn't do in terms of climate science, right? Like I love Bill Nye, don't get me wrong. I grew up watching his show and wouldn't be as into science if I didn't know about Bill Nye as a kid.
Yeah.
But like his more recent
it's going into climate change.
It's actually going into like fields of study that like he's really not he's not like the most knowledgeable about this certain topic, but he feels like he speaks for what like humanity at large should be doing.
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily wrong in that assumption, but like you don't actually, he's not like conducting the research that drives like those results anymore,
which
right?
is also tough because you're a science communicator. Like, you're a science communicator, but if you're not doing the research, there's like the thing that happens where it's like okay, now you're a talking head,
Yeah.
which is tough.
It's a
tough.
fine line, because if an actual climate scientist calls him out on anything, then like, who is he to be like, no, you're wrong, because they're the actual researcher.
That
right?
client scientist loses every time.
Yeah, climate scientists are in the most precarious situation ever right now, right? Because like actual climate scientists have to look at what's going on with the Earth system right now and be like, yeah, it's really important that we understand what's going into climate science, but there's so many data sets that are being misrepresented in the general public for both the fact that like some people are like, yeah, climate change doesn't even exist, right? And then there are some people that are so full throttle that everything is attributed to climate change, which is not necessarily true. That like you have to walk that fine line of calling bullshit out on both sides, and when you do, people get easily confused about
the
where
knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
The
right.
knee-jerk reaction, which is detrimental.
So like, for example, Hurricane Barry that just happened.
Where was that?
That was
What the fuck? I didn't even hear about that.
I think it made landfall in the Louisiana coast, but like not in New Orleans. It was like kind of either west.
I don't
or
know.
east.
I'm listening to you. I don't even heard about that
It was-
shit. I'm
Yes,
trash.
It was a June or July early hurricane that happened. It made landfall in Louisiana. It was not the most devastating hurricane to ever happen, but it happened pretty early on in the season, which was like, oh, that's kind of weird and interesting, right? Like maybe an anomaly, maybe can be attributed to some climate change effects, but like the thing that's troubling to me about it is that the headlines read like Hurricane Barry is strengthening due to climate change. It's going to make landfall at a stronger category than it otherwise would have because thanks to climate change, right? The hurricane didn't even fucking make landfall yet. It's like, how are you making this analysis based on assumptions that it's going to be stronger than it currently is when it didn't actually happen yet, right? Like you're jumping the gun. You're already saying that climate change has affected this hurricane in such a way because XYZ, but those events did not happen in reality yet, right? And in reality, Hurricane Barry made landfall. It was not the most devastating hurricane that ever happened. This is why you guys probably didn't hear about it, right? And all of that conjecture was really actually for nothing, right? Because you guys that are so quick to jump the gun and be like, oh, see, climate change is fucking everything up. You're attributing an event that did not materialize to a larger problem that contributes to some realistic problems that we need to address. But if you just blame everything on this one thing, it becomes a boogeyman, right? Like climate change is not the it's not what's causing every weird weather event that's ever happened, right? We've had weather anomalies throughout history because weather is unpredictable.
It's weather,
right? It's weather, right?
It's
like
weather.
so
it's a Earth rock on the moon.
So if every outstanding weather event becomes attributable to climate change, then how are we supposed to know what to do about climate change, right? Like climate change is an issue, but like if everything is climate change, then what the fuck are we supposed to do, right? Then nothing is climate change, right? Because which I wish people would understand the
difference
between that, because like if we go so far as to be like every time there's a heat wave in New York, we're gonna be like, see how much hotter it is because of climate change. Like, oh wow, it's so fucking hot now. Like, oh my god. But like,
funny, my God, I had family out in Vegas, and this winter it snowed in Vegas.
Yeah,
and a family member of mine took a picture of the snow, and was like, hashtag what climate change?
See, that's the thing, right?
Or
it's
what
like,
global warming?
Right. Like,
but is that indicative of climate change? I mean, is that snow in Nevada, or is that just a rare occurrence that happens? I mean,
it could be either or, right? Like
Yeah.
I haven't researched this one particular event to be like, oh yeah, like, well, because the climate has changed to be average warmer in this sense that it would lead to some snowfall happening at this weird time, right? Like I can't really like make that assumption, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, we experienced a heat wave in New York where like
the hottest
average
yeah.
temperatures were like, wow, fucking hot and humid, 95 degrees. That heat wave happened. To be like, well, that heat wave wouldn't have happened because we have climate change now, and that's what caused the heat wave. That's incorrect to say, right? Like we might have had the same heat wave. Maybe it wouldn't have been 95 degrees of hot and humid. Maybe it would have been 94 degrees. But to say that the heat wave wouldn't have occurred is wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like that weather event is in a vacuum compared to the overall general warming trend of the Earth's globe right now, right? Like so to call each and every extremity weather event something attributable to climate change is disingenuous, because now you've got everybody paranoid that every single thing that is not 70 degrees and beautiful out is now climate change, right?
Yeah.
Which like
Yeah,
isn't
unless
true,
you're in California
right?
and you're in a desert, whatever fake desert, you're fine. But okay, so what happens if everyone shuts off their AC?
I think that we are obviously changing how the atmosphere works on our planet.
Yeah.
I think that there's no logical alternative to that. I mean, just the sheer fact of like, in 1950, the Earth's population crossed 1 billion for the first time in human history.
Okay.
That's 70 years ago.
Yeah.
And then in 70 years from then,
It
we've gone
became
from
7
1 billion
billion.
to 7 billion, right?
Allegedly,
Like,
yeah.
like there's no way we're not affecting what
Yeah.
goes into the
I
air,
mean,
right?
yeah.
Like that's it's obvious,
In
right?
my girlfriend's room, she has a AC unit that has the hose that goes to the window.
Yeah.
Right? I'm laying in bed. I feel the heat coming, radiating off the hose. I feel it like it's right next to me. I'm like, yeah, why am I hot? It's because the fucking machine is making me hot. It's making me cool, and it's making me hot from the fucking tube. Like, I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, I felt crazy. But yeah, so now imagine if you're the air and the the window units and the wall units. So yeah.
I mean,
we are having it,
yeah.
and that's just ACs during the
Exactly.
summer.
We've gone through a population boom because
Medical science.
We're cheating.
Yeah.
We're cheating life expectancy for our species, right? Like we've gotten so good at developing cures with modern medicine. We've gotten so good at communicating with modern technology. Like of course the atmosphere has changed composition a little bit because we are an industrialized civilization that has put, unfortunately, some extra carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like that's not a stretch to
Yeah.
think about. I don't know why that like some people refuse to believe
Yeah,
that
I mean,
we could have some effect on
You
the
look at
overall.
factories, and they're
Like, of course we did.
just shooting out hot ass dark air, and you're like, yeah, that don't look good. That don't look good. That makes me cough.
Yeah.
And wheeze. That makes me wheeze. You know, like you see a factory that makes you wheeze, and
So
it might be fucking everything up.
So overall, right, like, yeah, if we have contributed to the concentration of greenhouse gases, and particularly carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, then we are responsible for the change in weather patterns that we're starting to see on a global trend. And I think that that's just like fair for us to, to admit, right? Like yes, like maybe I personally as a human being didn't do much to like change the discourse of like how the atmosphere works on this planet, but collectively 8 billion of us certainly
Yeah.
did, right? Like So now it just becomes a practice of being like, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's evaluate each and every severe weather event that happens and be like, okay, how much of this is different because of what we did versus how much of this is different because the Earth is just
it changes.
It just changes, right?
It's tumultuous.
Like the Earth obviously changes.
There was an ice age. It happened before there was any
Long
human beings.
Island wouldn't be an island if the glaciers didn't push fucking, you know what I mean, like debris all the way down to that extent. There have been periods.
There's a lifespan for everything, right?
Yeah,
so there's probably one for planets.
There's been periods of extreme heat on our planet before. That doesn't matter. I hate when people who argue against climate change are like, "Whoa, well, the Earth has been completely frozen before, and so
what?
like these are periods of fluctuation that we're just going through." It's like, yeah, but 8 billion people didn't depend on it 13,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like your argument is totally moot at that point, right? Like we need to worry about climate change now because fucking 8 billion people depend on a static, stable climate so that we can feed ourselves in today's day and age, right? Yes, you're right. The climate has changed drastically over the billions of years that Earth has been a planet, but like 13,000 years ago, it didn't matter, you know, so much if the ice age took over most of the northern hemisphere because there were only like 1,000 humans at that point, right? Like, so like they were able to adapt a little bit more readily than we are built on our infrastructure. That depends on like
the whole every human being. It will become a welfare fucking like case. Like we are not prepared to hunt and forage. There's too many of us.
So when we
we'll become cannibals and rapists. Cannibals and rapists. That's what's gonna happen.
Cannibals?
Maybe that's already happening.
Yeah. Well, you think rapists first?
For some reason I thought cannibal was extreme, but no, you're right. That makes sense. Yeah. No, not that it wasn't, but
no, it's all right.
No, that it wasn't. It's just seems
all right.
more
Reggie's
realistic.
spoken for the first time in 20 minutes, and he says rapists are gonna happen if it gets too cold.
Should we play Would You Rather?
Just
would you rather eat a person or get raped?
Eat
a person?
Yeah.
I think me too.
Yeah. I'm not getting fucked. Fuck that.
Wait, what if you're raped by like an island of beautiful women?
I'm not getting raped, and I'm not raping anyone.
What if there's like
cooking a nice?
All right, listen. All right, scenario.
Cooking some nice limbs.
Wait, okay, we're gonna finish on that. Now, real quick, Reggie, I'm dead. All right, I'm dead. You tried to save me. You're just rowing up the Hudson, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going up north, you know, because you think it'll be good, but it's not because it's colder and you're gonna die anyway. But it's just you're going up north. You're going up the Hudson. You're rowing, and you're rowing, and you're rowing, and you see this island. Fuck, I see this island, and it's just your favorite type of women. Semi-height white women. Mid-height white women with fat asses. And they're like, whoa, you hungry? And they're like, wow, look how dirty you are. They give you a haircut. Albert's long dead. They cut your hair. They feed you. And then they're like, yeah, Rich, like,
do you believe in climate change?
Yeah. we gonna have to fuck. We gonna have to fuck. There's no reason, Well, you need a reason?
Oh, I thought
you need a reason, Reg?
Yes.
Okay, so you need a reason, and you don't agree with their reason. I don't know what the reason is.
All right, that's fine.
But you don't agree with the reason. All right, so you say, I'm not fucking any of y'all. None of y'all beautiful, semi-height, fat-ass white women. I'm not fucking any of y'all. And then you're just asleep. You know, your cozy little bed. They got some nice IKEA fake sheep furs. Okay, they're really small, but they're nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping in your bed, you know, it's a little chilly. You just turn over, and then you just feel something grab at your dick.
Well,
what do?
All right.
Are you gonna let yourself get raped?
First of all, all right. Well, since I don't know this is gonna happen, because I was gonna be like, well, we're not gonna let it get that far. And it's gonna go straight to the fucking.
Okay.
And just like, yeah, we fucking, and that's
Yeah.
it.
So you just so you fucking
Yeah, I'm fucking.
even against all your morals.
I mean, I thought he was gonna be like, oh, like,
Oh, you thought you were gonna get raped by a gang of
no,
men?
I thought
Why would you think that? I don't want you to get raped by men.
No, I
not
think,
even in my idea. All right, so Reggie,
I thought you were gonna
was
be
thinking about
like,
getting raped by
oh,
men.
no, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, like they kill you, or you're like you're just dead,
Nah, they
and then they're just like, oh, like we got your boys Kobe, like, you know, skin and like whatever this thing or some shit, like what are you gonna do? Like,
okay, wait, okay.
This sounds a lot like Christopher Walken logic, where he's like, all right, but Reggie, so like, what if there was like a group of women that was trying to rape you? What would you do then?
All right, so okay, let me rewind. Right?
yeah, it's either rape or be raped.
Okay, so you land at this beautiful island, right?
Uh-huh.
It's let's say it's Fire Island. Now you get to Fire Island, it's just filled with beautiful, perfect women, whatever you want, you know, every color except the ones you don't like. So it's mostly Asian and white. And then you get there and you're like, everything's good, you're eating good, you know, they're like, hey Reg, like, you know, that like that lower back shit that guys do, but they're doing it to you. And there's like, hey, like, what's going on? You know, you're eating good, you're feeling good. You're like, hey, you want to work out? And you're like, not really. You're like, that's cool because we like you just the way you are. And then you go and you lay in bed, and then they're like, hey, Reg. They lift their lips just like that. Hey, Reg. They call you by your first name. Hey, Reginald.
Oh
They
my
whisper.
god!
Very loud, audible smacking.
Yeah. You're sleeping. You know, you're tossing and turning. You're thinking about like your family and stuff. You just hear Reginald.
Oh my
your full
god!
name. You wake up hard dick. You wake up. You're like, whoa, what's going on? It's like because they were whispering in your ear,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, yo, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna stay, you're gonna have to contribute. Right? You gotta contribute. And you're like, I'll do whatever I gotta do because outside is a wasteland. It's this bullshit going on, you know, whatever. And they're like, you gotta fuck. And you're like, well, okay, I'll do my due diligence as a man. I'll do my job. But then they come out and they're wearing a Colby skin, like they found me, and I like, you gotta fuck this one. It's just literally like my face, like, you gotta fuck the warrior princess, because she killed me and took my name. Like, what do you do?
I'm sorry, Kobe. You're already dead, but
Busting cheeks.
yeah.
Busting cheeks.
I'm sorry, Kobe. Fuck.
Bear down for
I
humanity.
didn't think you were gonna. Damn. Fuck. All right, that was better than what I anticipated. Fuck. No, I'm clapping cheeks. No, it's over. You made it. I wouldn't say you made it too easy, but
No, that's what I would want you to do.
oh, okay.
Just don't look at my eye holes.
Your eye sockets, your nostrils, and your ear.
all that shit. All my orifices, you steer clear.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's fine.
Would you try and bury my skin later when you got more like?
I'll after
Would you
the,
wear it?
yeah, after
Would
the
you wear
fucking
it, like,
no,
with
you
red, or
know,
you just like,
no, after the fucking, I'll
Bear
go back
Grylls.
to the. I'll go back to the hut or whatever,
Yeah.
steal the shit, wear it for myself.
the skin.
Yeah, and then I'll be like
Shit.
Broly, and I'll just be like, "This is my friend Colby." It's like this was Baba. This is my friend Colby, and then I leave. They be like, "Who is that?" It's like, "This is my friend Colby."
Oh my god! So
It's
you
like
just
we did podcasts together in the past.
you have pale white skin tied around your waist. You're just pale white skin. Oh, that's a beautiful note to end on.
Oh my god! You saw the Dragon Ball Super movie?
I saw.
Oh fuck!
I saw
The most recent one, the one that came in theaters.
I think so. All right, that's the one with Beerus.
Yeah.
And there's like they're like having a party on Earth, right?
That's the
beginning
that's
of
the first
Okay.
Super, yeah.
That's fine,
Okay.
but it takes place in that same time.
Okay.
And
That's
it
the one I
kind
saw.
of
You know Broly
Gotcha.
from the
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the
yeah.
OG.
Okay, so
yeah.
they have a revamp of Broly.
Okay.
now he's canon. If you haven't Yeah, now he's
So
canon
he
and
had
shit.
like some giant alien that he used to befriend.
Right.
And like his dad killed it or something, and like he took its ear and wrapped it around his waist.
So
And that's his blanket, like
Yeah.
you know, like just like a coat of a pelt. Like,
Right,
it's
right.
the thing's ear, and he's like, "Don't touch my pelt." So that I would be the pelt,
Yeah.
the Colby
Got it.
pelt.
It's like
After he's fucking beautiful, and he's like, "This is my penance. I'll wear my best friend on my ass."
this is gonna be so meta, right? Because this comes from the hit novel I Am Regina, where like the Indians scalp the white folk, right? It's like that.
That'll
my
be the
God.
title of your memoir in the post-apocalypse. Like, I am.
I am Regina.
I am
It has
Regina.
the tilde or whatever on one of the letters.
John, this has been a beautiful podcast.
Hell
We blessed
fucking yes.
ears. Yeah, we fucked their ears. We made
If
their
you
ears
tuned out, I'm
come.
sorry.
Their ears came.
I very
And
much
if you
appreciate
didn't, go to the Museum of Natural History and ask for a refund.
from me, probably.
Reggie, please take us on. Do you have any? Sorry, John. Do you have any closing words?
I don't have any closing comments, any plugs really. Just thank you guys so much for having
John,
me.
you're a
on. I
beautiful
appreciate
person. I fuck
Yes.
with your t-shirt. I fuck with your hat.
it. Yeah.
But more the t-shirt. Now, Reggie, please take us home.
It's the Border House Podcast episode 51, 51 on this hot Sunday. And it's your boy Reggie Shake That Ass Brown with Piccolo, the Black Piccolo, aka Hannibal Leonard. I'm here with Kobe, aka Young Marvel, Young Justice in the Flesh. My comics be motherfucking popping, sometimes at msn.com. And we had John, the motherfucking science guy, the science genius,
John Ullmann.
John motherfucking Ullmann. I was trying to think of another name to incorporate that in between, but John Ullmann here, speaking
John
facts,
Tyson
nothing but
Ullman.
facts. Yes,
John
Ooh,
Tyson Ullman.
There we go. John Tyson Ullman. There we go.
It's like the Tyson meats.
Yes.
Like the chicken fingers that you get. Yeah.
It is the Boy Downs Podcast. If you don't know, now you motherfucking know. Go to Museum of Natural History and learn some shit.
Ooh.
You little bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Shit. The one